Live from Spitz Stadium in Lethbridge, Alberta, the Western Canadian Baseball League presents the Lethbridge Bulls and the Okotoks Dawgs. Good evening, baseball fans. My name is Dustin Forbes, and this is Lethbridge Bulls baseball on FloCollege. Pleased to be joined in the booth tonight for tonight's marquee matchup in the West Division is Nathan Ryder. Nathan, quickly, these two teams, both of them coming into the contest tonight with 14 victories. The Bulls sitting first in the West, the Dawgs one game more played, looking to try and stay pace.
Tonight's going to be a game that both teams look back at the end of the regular season as one you want to have, because as it was proven in the playoffs between these two teams last season, that final at-bat in the deciding Game 3 is so vital.
These two teams have met 3 times so far. The Bulls are 2-1, having won by a combined 13-2 over the last 2 matchups. They'll play 10 times overall, this being the 4th meeting. Can the Bulls draw on experience and maybe confidence looking back at the last 2 head-to-head matchups going back to the 22nd of June and June 3rd?
I think absolutely. If you have success against an opponent earlier, it always helps. 10 meetings is a lot of games in any sport, and they'll look to build off of that here tonight.
Both teams with 14 wins. Let's go to field level for the opening festivities.
Everybody's favorite mascot. Unfortunately, T-Bone heard it was sports night, so he mistakenly actually went and tried water polo. So we'll send you pictures. Keep your eye on social media. I'm guaranteeing it is not going to end well. So we're going to skip the mascot tonight, and we will head right to the starting lineup of your Lethbridge Bulls, brought to you by Davis GMC. Leading off tonight is the center fielder, number 7, Jalen Ryan. Batting second, the right fielder, number 10, Lee Matsuzaki. Playing first and batting third, number 23, Carter Clarehout. Batting cleanup tonight, the designated hitter, number 26, Jack Kaleski. Batting fifth and playing short, number 8, Steven Andrechik. The second baseman, number 5, Brennan McDavish. In left field, number 1, Bernie Sogaris. Behind the dish tonight, number 17, Drew Buford. The third bagger is number 15, Will Turner. And tonight's starting pitcher is number 21, Jason Berglund. Ladies and gentlemen, make it loud for your starting 10. At this time, we ask you to please rise if you're able, remove your hats, and join Brianne Urban in the singing of our national anthem, brought to you by KCL Cattle Company.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Spitz Stadium in Lethbridge, Alberta is the site. The Lethbridge Bulls and the Okotoks Dawgs, the scene on a beautiful Thursday night ahead of the Canada Day long weekend, and two teams having great seasons. The Bulls entering play with a record of 14-7, winners of their last 2 back-to-back 13-2 wins over the Energy City Cactus Rats a couple of days ago in a doubleheader here at Spitz Stadium, where the Bulls served as the road team and the Okotoks Dawgs sitting 14-8. 8 of their 14 wins have come on the road, but they lost their last road game, looking to bounce back on the road, coming off a 9-2 win last night at home against Brooks. Defensively for the Bulls, getting the ball today will be Jason Berglund on the mound. The lefty wears number 21. He'll be throwing to Drew Bufford, the catcher tonight. The infield on the corners, Will Turner and Carter Clairhout. The middle infielders, Stephen Andrewtuck at short. Brendan McTavish at second base. In the outfield, Bernie Sakaris, Jalen Ryan, and Lee Matsuzaki defensively left to right. For the Okotoks Dawgs, leading off this evening's game will be Ricardo Sanchez, the shortstop, followed by Jake Skaggs and Barry Ellsman, the designated hitter, as we get set for first pitch here on this Thursday night. Nathan, and the Bulls holding the lead in the West Division, looking to continue to hold that lead after tonight's game.
Yeah, it's always an exciting game when you get the top two teams in any division, in any sport, facing off. That's what we get here tonight. Both teams playing well as of recently, as you mentioned in the open there, Dustin, and I think we should have a good competitive baseball game tonight, no matter how the cookie crumbles.
For the starter for the Bulls this evening, Jason Berglund, coming into the contest tonight this season, has appeared in 3 games, started all 3, a 4.39 ERA, 14 and 1/3 innings worth of work, 11 strikeouts, 6 walks, has given up 16 hits, as Ricardo Sanchez will stand in for the first time this evening to get things started. The shortstop for the Okotoks Dawgs. And to get set, he'll dig in. And this ball game is underway with a first pitch strike for Berglund. And ahead in the count against Ricardo Sanchez. Sanchez coming into the contest today, batting .350 on the season, as he fouls one back. And Sanchez, in his 4th season with the Dawgs, going back to 2022.
He's one of those names that you get used to seeing on an Okotoks lineup card. He's been there for a number of years.
0-2 count to Sanchez. Berglund readies into the windup. Delivery off speed, fouled back by Sanchez to keep it 0-2.
Berglund's been aggressive in the strike zone so far to start here tonight, and that's going to be important for him, a young pitcher. He's only a freshman out of Midland Community College in Texas.
Sanchez 0-2. Offering on the way. And that one just below the knees for a ball, 1-2. Umpires today calling balls and strikes at home plate is Mike Richards. At first, Cam Hampton. The third base umpire today is Cody Nelson. As Berglund readies, here's the 1-2 on the way. That one popped back and out of play by Sanchez. As Berglund goes for a bit of a walk.
The one thing you know you're getting out of Ricardo Sanchez, as you mentioned, Dustin, he's been around the league for 4 years. You know you're going to get a good at-bat out of him every single time he steps into the batter's box, and that's what he's providing Okotoks thus far.
1-2 is low for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes now for Sanchez. Battling back even.
You look back at some teams that have won the World Series in recent years, and the leadoff guy has been such a catalyst for those World Series winning squads. You think to Jose Altuve with the Houston Astros as of recent. Go back even further, a guy like Dexter Fowler with the Chicago Cubs. That leadoff guy is so important to reach base for a strong offensive team.
3-2 count after a fastball missed up in the zone. Here's the 3-2 offering. Fastball in the dirt. Gets by Bufford, but that'll be a leadoff walk to Ricardo Sanchez. And so the leadoff man aboard for Okotoks here in the top of the first inning.
Number 3, Jake Skaggs.
And Jake Skaggs will come to the plate for the first time tonight with a runner on.
Not exactly the start Berglund would have envisioned, being up 0-2 and then losing the leadoff man, but he has a chance to get back in the zone right here.
First pitch, off speed, swing and a miss by Skaggs, 0-1. Skaggs this season 20 games, batting .328. A couple of home runs. Has 21 hits this season for the center fielder. About a 6-foot lead for Ricardo Sanchez at first. Berglund readies in the offering off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike.
This time of day is always very interesting over at first base there. Just where with the sun where it is right now, you can't see a lot coming from the pitcher, especially with the left-hander on the mound.
Here's the 1-1 off speed, swing and a miss. Skaggs waves through that one again, and that's 2 off-speed pitches that Berglund's been able to get him to swing on.
Just looking at first base, you can see Carter Clairhout has the sunglasses on. I don't think Ricardo Sanchez has that luxury at the moment.
Berglund checks the runner, readies. Another off speed, this one fouled back by Skaggs as he makes contact on that one to keep the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sanchez this season, 7 stolen bases, had just 3 last year, but a couple of seasons ago in back-to-back years had 12. Only played in 28 games last season as they're going to check Sanchez, who steps back to the plate.
It's going to be interesting to see how they run on a guy like Berglund, because as he's shown, he does like that high leg kick as a left-hander, and as a base runner, you could take advantage of that.
Berglund looks ready for the 1-2 out of the stretch, and that one off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. So a couple of good at-bats back-to-back for Okotoks to open this ball game. Needed 8 pitches in the first at-bat to Sanchez, and up to 5 here now. As that one a punch-out with a fastball up in the zone, and Skaggs goes down looking 1 away.
And that's a good job by Berglund of mixing up his timing as well with the runner on first base. Can't let Sanchez get that good jump, and I think he kind of locked up Skaggs a little bit there with his timing, mixing up so the Okotoks center fielder wasn't quite ready for that one.
So Barry Eisman will stand in for his first at-bat today. First offering is a strike called. 0-1 to Eisman. Eisman is the designated hitter today for Okotoks. And this pitch off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Eisman with a .400 average coming into the game today with the 15 games under his plate. Batted .317 last season.
400 is a pretty good average to have at any point in the season.
I would take that. Here's the 1-1. And that one catches the zone for a strike from Berglund.
It's like any batting average that starts with the number 4 is good. Any save percentage in hockey that starts with the number 9 is pretty good. I think you'll take that any day of the week.
Sanchez at first, and he's going to go. Throw across, and they're going to get him. Good alertness by Berglund on the mound to see that Sanchez had a healthy lead, went to Clairhout, and he went down to second for the application of the tag.
And in a move like that for Ricardo Sanchez, he just broke on that play, and it took 2 good throws by Lethbridge to retire him for the second out of the inning.
So 1-2 count, and a strike 3 call, back-to-back punch-outs. So they lose the first one via walk, but a great job by Berglund to battle back in the count against Skaggs to get a strikeout, and then he strikes out Barry Eisman, the designated hitter. And through the top of 1, it is scoreless here at Spitz Stadium. You're watching the WCBL and Lethbridge Bulls baseball on FloCollege. Scoreless here at Spitz Stadium after the top of the first as we go to the home first. And getting the ball today for the Okotoks Dawgs will be the right-hander Austin Eaton from Frisco, Texas. He'll be on the mound. Doing the catching today, Chase Logan on the corners defensively for the Dawgs. Connor Croson at third, Nash Crowell at first. The middle infielders, Ricardo Sanchez, the shortstop, Eric Matchy, the second baseman left to right in the field, Steve Elsner, Jake Skaggs, and Benito Bonilla at right field. And leading things off for the Lethbridge Bulls here in the home first will be the center fielder Jalen Ryan, followed by Lee Matsuzaki and Carter Clairhout, due up here in this first inning for the Bulls, as Jalen Ryan, who had a home run a couple of days ago in this building, or field, I guess, building, same thing, will stand in for the first time to face Eaton, and the first pitch fastball in the dirt, and 1-0 to the Bulls leadoff man.
A little bit of a contrast in the two starting pitchers here today. Eaton is a senior playing for Texas State University, NCAA Division I in the Sun Belt Conference.
Here's a fastball just off the plate. 2 balls, no strikes. That's a close call.
Yeah, and going back to what I was saying earlier, Berglund's only a freshman playing junior college, so that's kind of the beauty that you get in this league sometimes, where you get the veteran and the rookie.
Fastball misses again from Eaton, and 3-0 count for Jalen Ryan early, as Eaton struggles to find the strike zone early. Ryan for the Bulls takes a fastball there on the inside corner for a strike, batting .269 this season. Mentioned that home run back on Monday in a losing cause. Here's the 3-1 on the ground down the first base line. Nash gets it. Nash crawl, and he'll take the out. 1 away.
Early in this outing, Eaton's established that fastball, and it looks to me, Dustin, like he's got some pretty good zip on that fastball here early in this outing.
So with 1 down, Lee Matsuzaki will come to the plate for the first time. He's had a really strong season for the Bulls, primarily in the 2-hole. Product of Honolulu, Hawaii. First pitch from Eaton is a fastball for a strike up in the zone, and an 0-1 count to Matsuzaki. Here's the second pitch, and a good check there by Matsuzaki to take a ball 1-1.
It's going to be something to watch throughout the game to see if Eaton can continue to keep that fastball velocity up that he's shown here in the first inning.
Some certain zip to it early in the ball game. 1-1 on the ground. Nash Kroll again. Underhand flip to Eaton. 2 down. Kroll had to battle the sun a little bit on that hopper.
I don't have a number in front of me, but I would have put an educated guess that Eaton's fastball is north of 90 miles an hour right now, if I had to ponder a guess.
Well, you're a former pitcher. You'd have a sense.
Yeah, couldn't tell you a specific number, but that's just my guess based off how the mitt's popping down there right now.
Gotta dig out the radar gun. First offering to Clairhout, and a swing tapped down the third base line. With time, throw across the diamond, and the Bulls go in order, all three via ground out. In the home first. Scoreless after one complete here at Spitz Stadium between the Bulls and the Dawgs on FloCollege.
This summer, there's only one place to be, and that's Spitz Stadium.
You can sit here. Or here. You can sit here. Or here. Or even here.
But not here. Get your tickets now at bullsbaseball.com and come experience Bulls baseball all summer long. It's going to be unbelievable.
Scoreless ball game here at Spitz Stadium. Dustin Forbes and Nathan Ryder. Each team sending 3 batters to the dish in the first inning. So a good start for the pitchers in this one, Nathan.
Always good to start your outing on a good foot, face the minimum, keep that pitch count low, and hopefully work deep into the game for your ball club.
Go to the second inning here at Spitz Stadium. And to lead things off will be Nash Kroll, followed by Benito Bonilla and Connor Croson, the heart of the order for the Okotoks Dawgs. Here in the
Top of the second inning.
road second.
First baseman number 44, Nash
And Nash Kroll will dig in from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia in his 3rd season with the Okotoks Dawgs. The heavy hitter who wears number 44 had 8 home runs last year, 10 the year before. Had a first pitch swinging on Berglund for a strike 0-1.
This is an Okotoks team that's had a lot of success recently, and it takes having some of those same guys back year after year to help maintain that success. We talked about Ricardo Sanchez in the first inning being one of those guys. Same thing can be said for Nash Crowell here and hitting in the 4th spot for the Dawgs.
Down 0-2 is Kroll after back-to-back fastballs. Here's the offering from Berglund in the dirt. They were seeing if Kroll would swing on that one low, but a good take. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Berglund on the mound for the Bulls today. Needed 18 pitches in the first inning, and he gets his 3rd straight strikeout here of Nash Kroll, who goes down swinging. One away.
Number 45, Benito Bonilla.
And it takes a good pitch to get a guy like Crowell to go down swinging, and that's exactly what Berglund was able to offer right there.
So Benito Bonilla, the right fielder, will stand in now as Berglund delivers a first pitch fastball just off the plate. 1-0 count. Here's the 1-0 in there for a strike to even the count. 1-1. The Bulls coming off back-to-back 13-2 wins over the Energy City Cactus Rats a couple of days ago. As a 1-1 here off the plate. Lethbridge sitting 14-7 on the season. The Dawgs 14-8 coming off a 9-2 triumph yesterday at home against the Brooks Bombers at Siemens Stadium. Here's the 2-1 from Berglund, and a big cut there, missing by Bonilla. 2-2.
And the Bulls serving as the road team in that doubleheader here at Spitz, because for the Cactus Rats, their ballpark's finishing touches are being put on that beautiful new stadium up there.
Here's a swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's 4 straight strikeouts now for Berglund.
Third baseman number 10, Connor Croso.
And going back to talking about the new ballpark, as exciting as that is, it's very difficult to be a road team for that stretch of time to start a season like Energy City is in the midst of right now.
Sitting in a playoff spot despite it, Energy City is a first offering here to Connor Croson. The third baseman is a ball, 1-0 for Berglund. Croson this season batting .310. Had a .351 average in just 6 games with the Dawgs last year. Had 4 home runs in those 6 games. Has 5 on the season so far. Here's the 2-0, and that one upstairs. 3 balls, no strikes.
And he's an Okotoks kid as well, and again, one of those familiar faces that you need to help build a championship core.
Goes to Missouri State University, does Croson. Berglund readies, 3-0 pitch on the way, and that one fouled back on a healthy cut by Croson. 3 balls and a strike. Hitter wind here at Spitz Stadium on this Thursday night. So the same wind back on Monday. There was 5 home runs in that ball game. Here's the 3-1. This one popped up and drifting foul out of play. 3-2 now, full count.
Even when he's been behind in counts, I've liked the pitches that Berglund's made to get himself back into some counts against some pretty dangerous hitters, including that last one to Croson that he was able to foul off.
Here's the 3-2. In the air again, and drifting foul. And out of play.
Late on those last 2 pitches, fouling them off. That right-handed hitter fouling it off towards that right field side. It's going to be interesting to see what Berglund comes back here on another full count.
Should correct myself on his stats. Had 9 home runs in 45 games last year for Croson. Batting .364 this season. 55 ribbies a year ago. Pretty good numbers for this league.
But not more than a ribby per game. That's
Yes.
You're cooking.
3-2 again. In the dirt, that'll be a ball and a walk. So 4 strikeouts and 2 walks for Berglund. And a runner on with 2 away here in the top of the second inning.
Yet to record an out on a ball hit in play to a fielder in this one with the caught stealing from Sanchez and then 4 punch outs.
And now the number 7 hitter, Chase Logan, the catcher, in for the first time. And first pitch fastball off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. 36 pitches now for Berglund. 18 in the first and 18 here in the second. This one in the air. Center field all the way back to the wall and gone. A 2-run home run for Chase Logan. His second home run of the season. And the Dawgs in the second inning opened the scoring 2-0.
And just as you mentioned earlier in the inning, Dustin, we do have that friendly wind blowing out here at Spitz Stadium this evening, and that ball was hit well, but it definitely was aided a little bit by the wind. Definitely an extra base hit even without it, but the wind gave it that extra little bit it needed to clear the fence in almost dead center field.
Got up there and hung up. And that one probably about 404 feet as it just cleared the center field wall. And a comebacker here on a first pitch is a base hit up the middle for Eric Matchey. And back-to-back hits and 3 straight aboard for the Dawgs rather.
And Berglund's been around that strike zone on the first pitch all night long, and that's a good piece of hitting by Matchy, coming up with an approach and hunting that first pitch fastball that Berglund has shown to the first 7 Okotoks batters here tonight.
Now a conversation between pitcher and catcher as Drew Bufford out to have a quick chat with Jason Berglund. After giving up back-to-back hits on 2 straight pitches. And Stephen Elsner will stand in for the first time, the number 9 hitter. And the first pitch is a ball, 1-0 to Elsner.
Not 100% sure what happened there. It kicked away about 5 feet away from Bufford, but Matchy had already scurried back to first base.
1 ball, no strikes. Berglund with a fastball, and that one just at the knees, and a called strike, 1-1. Swing and a miss here for Elsner. One ball, 2 strikes. Runner on the way. The throw was in time, but McTavish couldn't corral it. And sliding in safe at second is Matchy.
Good pitch for the catcher there to have it be low in the zone in a good position to catch it, and a good throw. Unfortunately, just handcuffed the normally sure-handed Brendan McTavish at second base.
So runner at second, 2 away, and a 2-0 Okotoks lead. Here's the 2-2. That's hit up the middle. McTavish to his right. The throw across, and Clairhout had to reach and grab it. And that will be the 3rd out of the inning. But the Okotoks Dawgs, a 2-run home run off the bat of Chase Logan. And it's 2-0 for the Dawgs after an inning and a half here in Lethbridge. We'll take a break, come back for the home second next. This is FloCollege.
The Lethbridge Bullhorn is all things regarding the Lethbridge Bulls of the Western Canadian Baseball League. The Bullhorn has the latest news regarding the Bulls with interviews with current and past players, signings, game recaps, and updates on all the events happening at Spitz Stadium. The Bullhorn is your place for all things regarding baseball in Lethbridge. Get your horns up with the Bullhorn, the Lethbridge Bulls Baseball Report.
Home second we go here at Spitz Stadium with the Bulls down 2-0 after a couple of runs in the top of the second. And Jack Kaliski, the designated hitter, will lead things off for the home side here in the second.
For Lethbridge, the right part of the order to come up to start a rally, 4, 5, 6. Traditionally, some of the best hitters in your lineup are penciled into those spots.
Kaliski will lead things off, and the first pitch from Eaton is low and in the dirt for a ball and a 1-0 count. Kaliski followed by Steven Andrechik and Brennan McTavish due up here in the second. Only 10 pitches so far for Eaton on the night. Here's the 1-0, and a good snap of the glove on that fastball that Kaliski was well behind on.
Eaton's a very polished arm. pitched to a 4.07 ERA in 48 and 2/3 innings with Texas State this season in the Sun Belt Conference Division 1.
Another fastball. Kaliski slow on it again, 1-2. Good stuff from Eaton early. Looking for his first strikeout of the night. Ground ball to second. Charge by Matchy. Easy throw, one away.
As Bulls fans are used to seeing, Kaliski is a very good hitter and takes a very good pitch like that to get a defensive swing out of a guy like Jack Kaliski, and that's exactly what Eaton was able to dial up right there.
4 straight retired, 4 straight ground ball outs for Austin Eaton in this game so far. As Andrzejczyk turns on the first pitch and slaps it down the right field line, a base hit. Turning and heading to second, the throw on the way, but a stand-up double for Steven Andrzejczyk. And the Bulls have their first hit of the night.
Yep, that ball was hitting well, and nothing Nash Crowell can do at first base to knock that down. And runner in scoring position for the Bulls here with 1 out. And we'll see if they're able to answer back from last half inning.
So runner at second, that is Andrzejczyk. Brennan McTavish will stand in, the second baseman. Looking to dig into the Okotoks lead after a couple of runs scored on that 2-run home run in the top of the second. And the first offering to McTavish catches the corner for a strike, 0-1. Eaton checks the runner. Readies. And this one for a ball, 1-1.
If you're going to talk about a guy that's grown up around the game of baseball, Brendan McTavish is one of those names that jumps up, obviously. His dad is Les McTavish, the head coach of the Vauxhall Academy Jets program and former graduate of the Prairie Baseball Academy here in Lethbridge. So Brendan's been around a ballpark since he could crawl, basically.
He's having a good quote-unquote rookie season with the Bulls. 20 games, a .319 average with 3 home runs and 20 RBI already this season. 2-1 count for McTavish. On the ground, shortstop Sanchez to his right, underhand scoop and throw. And a good out there for the Dawgs.
Sanchez made that play look very routine for how difficult of a play that was. The ground here at Spitz Stadium, you never quite know when that ball hits the ground and can take off on you, and he was able to pick his hop, field it cleanly, and make a strong throw across the diamond for the second out of the inning.
And so Bernie Sakaris will come to the plate with 1 on and 2 away here in the bottom of the second inning with the Dawgs leading 2-0. And he'll face Austin Eaton for the first time. Fastball slapped at. Bouncer over the head of the third baseman, Croson, turning and heading home is the Bull runner, and in will come Andrzejczyk, and Lethbridge cuts the lead in half with a run of their own here in the second inning. It's 2-1, and an RBI for Bernie Sakaris.
And that's sort of that, a Kansas City Royals type run right there when they won the World Series a few years back. It's just putting that ball in play, and you never know what's going to happen. And third baseman drawn in against the fast runner like Sakaris, and he's able to put it over the head of Croson and score the first run of the night for Lethbridge.
For Bernie, that is RBI number 9 on the season for him to cut the deficit to 1. And a fastball here to lead off the at-bat with Drew Bufford, the catcher. And an 0-1 count to the Bull catcher. Here's the 0-1, and that one cut on and missed by Bufford. Drew batting .211 this season from Little Elm, Texas in 14 games. Does have a home run and 6 RBI this season, though. 0-2 count. In the dirt, dropped. Heading to second is Sakaris, and he slides in safe for the stolen base. 7th stolen base of the season for Sakaris.
That's a tough play for the Okotoks catcher Chase Logan to make there on that breaking ball in the dirt. That spin will have the ball take off on you sometimes there. He was able to corral and make a good throw. Unfortunately, not quite in time to get Sakaris at second base.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Drew Bufford. Runner at second with about an 8-foot lead. High pitch, and that one got by the catcher. And on the wild pitch, Sakaris now to third. So an RBI single for Sakaris, got to first. Stolen base to second, wild pitch to third. And the tying run 90 feet away for the Bulls.
Wild pitch, a bit uncharacteristic for Eaton. Only had 2 with Texas State this season in 48 2/3 innings.
2-2 count. Fastball, swing and a miss, strike 3. So Eaton holds the runner at third, but the Bulls get 1 back. And after 2 complete here at Spitz Stadium, it's the Okotoks Dawgs 2 and the Lethbridge Bulls 1. This is Bulls baseball in the Western Canadian Baseball League on FloCollege.
The Lethbridge Bullhorn is all things regarding the Lethbridge Bulls of the Western Canadian Baseball League. The Bullhorn has the latest news regarding the Bulls with interviews with current and past players, signings, game recaps, and updates on all the events happening at Spitz Stadium. The Bullhorn is your place for all things regarding baseball in Lethbridge. Get your horns up with the Bullhorn, the Lethbridge Bulls Baseball Report.
For more than 40 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
4 strikeouts so far for Jason Berglund, who's back out for the top of the 3rd inning in a 2-1 Okotoks lead here at Spitz Stadium. And back to the top of the order for the Dawgs, here to lead off the road 3rd with Ricardo Sanchez due up, followed by Jake Skaggs and Barry Eisman.
It's going to be interesting to see how Berglund navigates the second time through the lineup. Obviously, only 2 hits allowed through that first 9 batters at the plate for Okotoks, so that's relatively successful. But you look at a guy like Sanchez, that's a veteran hitter. You can't give him the same thing twice or he's going to make you pay. So I'm interested to see how the attack might change here for Berglund moving forward in this inning and beyond.
Berglund readies, and a pitch outside to Sanchez to lead off. The 3rd is a ball, 1-0. Sanchez 0 for 0 today. We reached on a walk back hit to lead off the ball game in the 1st, and was caught stealing for the 2nd out of that inning as he is ahead in the count now. I believe 2 balls, no strikes. Whoever's running the score clock out at left field is well behind, as this one in the dirt. And I think it's a 3-0 count, but
yeah,
I think does say 0-0 out there. .3-0, and that'll be a 4-pitch walk to Sanchez. And for the 2nd straight time, Sanchez aboard on the base on balls.
Center fielder number 3, Jake Skaggs.
Once you fall behind in a count against a guy like Sanchez, it can be very difficult to get yourself back in there. he's a good hitter, and if you give him a mistake, he's going to do a lot more than walk to first base with it. So
Skaggs to the plate for the second time. Takes the first pitch, fastball outside for a ball, 1-0. So 5 straight balls for Berglund here in the third to start. Runner at first is Sanchez, has about a 7-foot lead. 1-0 to Skaggs, swing and a miss and a strike, 1-1. Skaggs struck out looking back in the first inning. That was the start of 4 straight punch-outs for Berglund. Here's the 1-1, and again, swing and a miss and a strike.
And you can see that cat and mouse game in full motion between Berglund and Sanchez at first base, just mixing up that timing, giving Bufford a chance to throw Sanchez out if he does decide to break for second base once again.
Here's the 1-2, slapped foul out of play. Skaggs had to hurry up and get on his horse to get a piece of contact on that one.
It's always a little bit different in the batter's box with a runner on first because that pitcher's trying to give his catcher the best opportunity he can to throw out the base runner. But from a hitter's perspective, you're 2 strikes, you're battling up there. You need to be ready, and that also throws you off a little bit as well.
Here's the 1-2, off speed on the ground. Berglund, good charge, but he juggled it. And that will be either an infield hit or an error charge to the pitcher, as able to trot down safe with Skaggs to first. We'll wait on the ruling. It will be an error to Berglund.
That ball was purely off the cap of the bat, and it was going to be a very difficult play for Berglund to make the play if he did field it cleanly, just with the speed of Skaggs and the nature of being a left-handed pitcher on that play. But that's the decision by the official scorekeeper this evening.
So here's an offering, and a first pitch is lined to the shortstop over Andrzejczyk. That'll be a base hit for Barry Eisman, and the first 3 of this inning are aboard for the Dawgs, and the bases are loaded for a heavy hitter in Nash Kroll.
Haven't hit a ball particularly hard this inning, but they've found the right spots when they've made contact with it, and that leadoff walk certainly doesn't help your cause, but Berglund's going to have to really bear down here to limit the damage here in the away half of the third inning.
So none away. Kroll to the plate. First pitch is low and outside. Mentioned the home run prowess of Nash Kroll. 2 home runs this season, 8 last year, 10 the season prior to that with the Dawgs. And Berglund staying away, both outside the zone. 2-0 count now to the Dawgs first baseman. That one upstairs missing. And I think it's a 3-0 count, but you can't be sure now with the outfield scoreboard. That's a walk, so 4-pitch walk, and a run comes in to make it 3-1.
And that's going to bring out Bulls pitching coach Josh Bergman for a quick conversation with his young left-hander.
4 aboard. 4 have come aboard in this third inning, but only 1 hit surrendered. Walk, error, single, and walk. And so the bases stay loaded with none away, and a run having come in to make it a 3-1 game.
And a group of pitchers started to make the jog towards the bullpen down the left field line for Lethbridge.
Right fielder number 45, Benito Bonilla.
Benito Bonilla, the right fielder, 0 for 1 today. comes to the plate with the bases loaded here in the top of the third inning. First offering from Berglund, cut on and fouled back to the screen, 0-1.
The one thing I was told as a player from coaches at the college level is that the biggest adjustment in baseball is from high school baseball to college baseball. It's not as big of a jump as you would think from college baseball to pro baseball. The most difficult jump for a player to make is from the high school level to the college level, just because the game gets so much more polished, so much more faster. And it can be a difficult learning curve for some guys, which is why you see a lot of junior college baseball more than you see in other sports. So it's going to be interesting to see how Berglund navigates these waters now.
1-1 count on the ground, and a good grab. One at third, throw to home, and application for a second. That's a great job by Will Turner to keep the ball in front of him, and they get a double play out of it.
That ball was hit on the screws by Bonilla, but it was hit right to the third baseman, Turner, and the ball found him on that one, able to go to third for one out, and alertly throws home for the double play.
So runners at first and second. Kroll goes to first. Bonilla down to, Kroll to second, Bonilla to first. And 2 away for Connor Croson. In the air, fly ball, center field. Backing up is Jalen Ryan. And another one for the Dawgs. This time, Connor Croson. A 3-run home run. And blows it open. Here in the third.
That's a veteran hitter, not doing too much on the first offering. That ball was on the outside half of the plate, and Croson just goes with it, drives it to right center field for a huge 3-run swing of the bat for Okotoks.
And it's a 6-1 lead for the Okotoks Dawgs. First offering here to Chase Logan. He had a 2-run home run last inning. And Connor Croson, a 3-run jack to make it a 4-run third inning for Okotoks. Here's a fastball up and outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two 1 on the way. Popped straight up in foul territory. Turner, the third baseman, will bring it in. And the Bulls will get out of the inning, but a big inning for the Okotoks Dawgs. They had 4 more runs, including 3 off the bat of Connor Croson on a 3-run home run. And it's 6-1 Okotoks here at Spitz Stadium. Home third when we come back. You're watching Bulls baseball in the WCBL on FloCollege. Home third we go here at Spitz Stadium with the Okotoks Dawgs blowing it open in the top of the third, Nathan, with a 4-run inning. And the Bulls will have some work to do to try and dig back into this one against a team they are battling in this division with.
It's amazing what one swing of the bat, just how that can change the outlook of an inning, how it can change the outlook of a baseball game. And that one swing of the bat right now is that 3-run home run off the bat of Connor Croson. Goes from being a 2-run deficit to a 5-run deficit just like that.
And Austin Eaton on the mound, throwing heat early in this game as he misses here with a fastball 1-0 to the leadoff man. Bottom of the order, Will Turner leads things off for the Bulls, followed by Jalen Ryan and Lee Matsuzaki as they roll up to the top of the order in this inning. Ground ball to the second baseman. Matchy with time, 1 down.
And Eaton's been all around the strike zone, and the Bulls have been aggressive against him early in this one. Another ground ball out early in the count for Lethbridge.
That's 6 on the day so far. 1 strikeout for Eaton and 2 hits surrendered. Here's a first offering to Ryan, and he takes it for a strike, 0-1. Jalen Ryan, one of the 6 ground ball outs to lead off the first inning. And a bouncer in the dirt skips past the catcher, Chase Logan. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That looks like to be like a hard slider of something to me.
Here's the 1-1 and a big cut by Ryan. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Fastball catches the corner. Strike 3 called on Ryan. 2 down. Second strikeout of the night for Eaton.
And that's just a well-located fastball down and away from a right-handed hitter. Not a ton you can do with that pitch, even if you offer at it in a 2-strike count.
So Lee Matsuzaki will come to the plate for his second time. 0 for 1 today. Eaton, fastball turned on, ground ball to the shortstop. Sanchez to crawl, and he did a great job to apply the tag and get the out at first. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Okotoks Dawgs. They blew it open in the top of the third, and after 3 complete, it is the Dawgs 6 and the Bulls 1 from Spitz Stadium. You're watching the Western Canadian Baseball League on FloCollege. Fourth inning we go here at Spitz Stadium with a 6-1 lead for the Okotoks Dawgs. Take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard across the Western Canadian Baseball League on this Thursday. We have a final, or a couple of them. Energy City Cactus Rats defeating the Moose Jaw Miller Express 3-1. Energy City 9-8 winners over Swift Current as well, if that's accurate. Elsewhere, it is Sylvan Lake leading Brooks 5-0. Regina has a 2-0 lead on Medicine Hat. Fort McMurray, Moose Jaw scoreless. And here, it is a 6-1 game. I'm not sure if those scores are accurate, but that's what the website is saying. As we go to the top of the 4th inning here at Spitz Stadium. And a new pitcher for the
need to change the
Lethbridge
inning, though.
Bulls here at Spitz Stadium. And it will be for the Bulls, Aiden Newton out of the pen as he will take on the Dawgs' Eric Matchey here to lead off inning number 4. That one on the ground, and it got past Turner at third, and that'll be a base hit for Matchey to lead off the 4th inning. As he grounded it past the third baseman. And the Dawgs picking up where they left off last inning.
Aggressive early in counts and able to benefit from it early.
So Elsner will make his way to the plate, 0 for 1 today with a runner on first. Great pitch from Newton, looked well outside of the zone and broke back into the strike zone. 0-1 to Steven Elsner. The left fielder grounded out to end the 2nd inning. Here's the 0-1, swing and a miss, strike 2. Elsner this season batting .200, 1 home run. Coming into the contest today, here's the 1-1 upstairs, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Some high heat there.
Newton's a Division I arm, and he certainly has the velocity to back it up.
One, 2. Tapped foul to stay alive for Elsner. Newton for the Bulls, coming in out of the bullpen to relieve Jason Berglund. This is his 7th appearance this season, a 3.27 ERA. Here's the 1-2, fastball on the ground, a hopper over the head of Will Turner at third. That'll be a base hit and back-to-back singles to start the 4th for Okotoks.
Shortstop, number 8, Ricardo Sanchez.
And back to the top of the order, Ricardo Sanchez will stand in. He's walked both times to the plate so far tonight. First offering to Sanchez is a fastball for a strike, 0-1. Big leads for both runners at first and second. Matchey at second, Elsner at first. This pitch off the plate, 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's a good take there by Sanchez. That's a breaking ball from Newton that starts in the zone, breaks out of the zone. Not the easiest pitch to lay off when you've got that high spin rate on that breaking ball.
Long stare down at second for Newton. Turns and a fastball outside the zone. 2 balls, 1 strike. 6-1 Okotoks lead here in the top of the 4th inning. 2-1 count for the top of the order. Ricardo Sanchez has reached both times via walk. Good pitch there, but just missed for Newtons. And a 3-1 count. Sanchez walked to lead off the ball game, walked and scored in the 3rd for Okotoks. Fastball upstairs. That'll be another walk for Sanchez. A hat trick of walks. And the bases are loaded with none away.
Center fielder number 3, Jake Skaggs.
And now Jake Skaggs will come to the plate. Skaggs today struck out. And is that a balk?
A balk has been called.
So a run comes in on a called balk to Aiden Newton. And it's 7-1. This one for an 0-1 count. Skaggs, as mentioned, struck out on the first and reached on an error in the third. 0-1, got by Bufford. And another run is going to score as trotting in from third is Steven Elsner, and it's 8-1. For the Dawgs. Scoreboard guy tonight is just having a tough time out there. Runner advanced to third. That was Sanchez on the wild pitch. So 2 runs here in the fourth. Dawgs had 4 in the third. Excuse me, 4 in the third and 2 in the second. As a fastball there for a strike, 2-1. Two swing and a miss, strike 3, and the Bulls have an out as Skaggs goes down on strikes. And that is punch out number 5 on the night for, punch out number 5 for the Bulls staff and first of the night for Aiden Newton. And now Barry Eisman will stand in. 1 for 2. Upstairs for a ball, 1-0. Ball in the air. Into foul territory, and they can't get there. Good hustle by Andrechik to try and get there in time, but ran out of space. And a 1-1 count now to Skaggs. Eisman, the designated hitter. He singled in the third inning. Good pitch for Newton. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One away here in the top of the 4th inning. Off speed, off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two, and that one gets by, and another run is going to come in to score. And that is a 9-1 lead for the Okotoks Dawgs. Three-two count for Aiden Newton. Pulled down the right field line with hang time. It goes off the wall, popped past Matsuzaki, heading to second. And he'll hold there a hard and loud stand-up double for Barry Eisman, who's now 2 for 3 on the night. And the Dawgs feeling it here in the early part of this game. As he turned on that one, didn't quite have the hang time to get out of the ballpark, but came close. And the Dawgs, with 1 away, have a runner at second. And they've opened up an 8-run lead after 4 runs in the third and 3 more here in the fourth. Swing and a miss for Kroll. And a 0-1 count to him, the first baseman of the Dawgs. 0 for 1 and reached on a walk his last time up. Came around to score last inning. And this one dropped, but good job by Bufford to hurry to it to hold Barry Eisman at second. 1 ball, 1 strike. Eisman is at second with his second hit of the ball game. Just needs a triple and a home run to hit for the cycle. This one on the ground by Kroll to the shortstop. Andrzejczyk with time across, 2 away.
Right fielder number 45.
And Benito Bonilla now will come to the plate with 2 away here in the fourth. "26 pitches for Aiden Newton. Swing and a miss for Bonilla, 0-1. Bonilla struck out in the second inning, reached on a fielder's choice, and then came around to score in the third. This is the 3rd straight inning in which he is bat. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. And Bonilla goes down on a 3-pitch strikeout. 2nd strikeout of the night for Newton. 6th of the night for the Bulls staff. But the Dawgs open up an 8-run lead with 3 more runs in the top of the fourth. We'll go to the home fourth after this. You're watching the WCBL on FloCollege. Home fourth we go here at Spit Stadium, at a big lead for the Okotoks Dawgs as Austin Eaton comes back out for the fourth inning. Only 30 pitches through the first 3 innings for Eaton. And he will be tasked with Carter Clairhout to open up the bottom of the fourth.
At this point for Lethbridge, base runners are kind of the name of the game, down 8. There's still plenty of time left to go in this baseball game.
First pitch to Clairhout, and that is a ball. Clairhout today 0 for 1. He grounded out to end the first inning. Bulls surrendering 2 runs in the second, 4 in the third, 3 in the fourth. Ground ball here down the third base line, and that's foul. And I believe a 1-on-1 count to Clairhout. Carter this season batting .363 with 5 home runs to lead the Bulls. Here's a fastball. Ouch. That one hit him right on the outside of the knee. I can't imagine that feels good as he'll limp his way down to first. And the Bulls have a base runner.
That's not typically the spot you want to get hit by a pitch, but name of the game is base runners, and Clairhout's an alumni of the Prairie Baseball Academy, and the one thing you're taught at PBA is you're not supposed to move your feet when there's a ball coming your way. That's one of the ideologies of Todd Hupka, Ryan McDonald, and the rest of the coaching staff there. So something Carter's done in the past, and he'll just need to take an extra couple seconds with this one right here because it hit him in a pretty awkward spot.
Yeah, that one hit him right on the outside of the knee. Looks like he'll shake it off, as Taylor Swift famously sang. Shake it off. Clairhout doing that, as up comes Jack Koliski for the second time. He's 0 for 1 as well today. First pitch is a fastball missing just below the strike zone.
Have to guess, considering the score and the fact that he just took a fastball at the outside of the knee. I don't think Clairhout's planning on stealing 90 feet right here.
No, I can't imagine there'd be a lot of pep in that step after taking that ball off the inside of the outside of the knee, I suppose, as Koliski. Fly ball to center, and a couple of steps in for Jake Skaggs, one away.
Shortstop, number 8, Steven Andrzejczyk.
And now Steven Andrzejczyk doubled and scored the only run for the Bulls in this game back in the second inning.
And that was a ball down the right field line just between first baseman Ash Corral and the bag, but that window doesn't look like it's open anymore that he hit it through last time, so we'll see what Steven has in store for us this time around.
Well, with Clairhout and Kroll at first. As a first offering from Eaton around the outside, and a ball, 1-0.
Lethbridge has been aggressive early in the counts against Eaton all night long. Because he's been around the zone all night long, hasn't put himself in too many hitters' counts here in this one tonight.
Ground ball to the shortstop. Sanchez for 1. The relay, not in time. Heck of a reach by Nash Kroll, but legging it out safe was Andrzejczyk. But 2 down.
Brennan McTavish.
And Clairhout's getting quick conversation with Ryan McDonald there as he's wandering off the field, just making sure his first baseman's okay to go out there next half inning. Something to keep an eye on.
Gonna need his bat if you have any hope of getting back close in this game. As McTavish takes the first pitch strike, 0-1.
And Carter's a pretty good defender at that position too, and it's always valuable to have that left-handed first baseman.
No balls, 1 strike to Brennan McTavish. He's 0 for 1 today. Fastball low, 1 ball, 1 strike. McTavish, the second baseman, having a really good season. Mentioned his last time up, 20 RBI this year. This one on the ground. Hot shot to second. He'll go to the shortstop and the put away. And after 4 complete, it is the Dawgs 9 and the Bulls 1 here at Spitz Stadium. You're watching the Western Canadian Baseball League and Lethbridge Bulls Baseball on FloCollege.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Just 1 inning of work for Aiden Newton, and the Bulls go to the bullpen again as Tyler Pauly comes out of the bullpen for Lethbridge to open up the 5th inning in a 9-1 Okotoks lead here at Spitz Stadium. And I would imagine after 24, 22, and 29 pitch innings, the Bulls staff will hope for a more tidy 5th inning here to keep it where it's at.
Yeah, they bring Pauly out of the bullpen, and I mean, he's only going to run 1 outing this season, and that was against the Okotoks Dawgs at Siemens Stadium back on June 1st. So they're looking to get some of that good mojo from his last few outings working here, and we'll see if he can get things started in this half inning.
So Pauly in on the season for him this year. 7 appearances, 6 1/3 innings worked, a 4.26 ERA, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts for the product of Fisher, Texas. And Connor Croson, followed by Chase Logan and Aaron Matchey, will dig in. And between the 3 of them, they have combined for 4 hits and 2 home runs.
I think that's good.
That's okay. And 5 runs as well. Or 5 RBI, I should say. This one fouled back, 1 ball, 1 strike from Pauly.
Coming right at Croson, even though he's got a 3-run shot here tonight. It's not really showing him much respect attacking the third baseman earlier in this at-bat.
1-1, fastball just off the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Mike Richards, close call there at the plate.
Yeah, as an umpire, you're never the most popular guy out there.
Here's the 2-1, swing and a miss, foul tip. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff man, Connor Croson. 1 for 1 today with a walk. 3-run home run to center field his last time up, and he has scored both times that he's been able to get on today. Off speed upstairs, runs the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Croson.
And that was just a tremendous piece of hitting for that 3-run home run. Just pitch on the outside half of the plate. Didn't try to do too much with it and just let it travel to right center.
Here's the 3-2 upstairs, and that'll be a leadoff walk for the Bulls. And in the 5 innings, all but one, the Bulls have lost the leadoff match.
Catcher number 16, Chase Logan.
And of those 4, 3 times it's been leadoff walks.
Never really a recipe for success to put the leadoff man on, but that's what the Bulls have given themselves here tonight.
And so now Chase Logan will come to the plate. He's 1 for 2 with that 2-run home run back in the 2nd inning. And that one was straightaway center as he fouls one back, ball 1 strike.
Ball likes to carry here in Lethbridge when that flagpole in center field, that big Canadian flag blows out. The ball can really carry here.
Here's the 1-1. Big cut and a swing and a miss.
Not exactly the sure of the elevation we are at here in Lethbridge, but I mean, we're just a stone's throw away from the Rocky Mountains, and I'm not saying it's Coors Field here, but I mean, the ball will like to travel on a nice windy day.
Here's the 1-2, and that one outside. The elevation of Lethbridge is 910 meters versus Denver, which is 1,609. So a little bit higher up in Denver, but strong point of catch the wind and go with the lighter air. Of course, Denver named the Mile High City for a reason.
We're not quite. Kilometer High just doesn't have the same ring to it.
Doesn't have the same ring to it. Here's a pitch inside for a ball, and that'll run the count full.
And the winds we get here in Lethbridge can just have such an incredible effect on a baseball. I've seen, not at this ballpark, but at Lloyd Nolan Yard on the north side of Lethbridge, I've seen a pop fly to the second baseman fly over the right field wall on a day with strong enough wind. It's just incredible what physics can do.
There's another walk for the Dawgs as Logan will make his way down to first. So back-to-back walks to start the 5th. And Eric Matchey, 2 for 2 today, will come to the plate with 2 on and none away in the top of the 5th inning. This is the 4th of 10 meetings on the season between these two. Okotoks will be back over the weekend as a fly ball heavy but drifting foul out of play.
Matchy just out in front of that first pitch offering from Paulie down towards the maintenance shed down the left field line, just a touch early on that one.
Dawgs here on Sunday. That'll be a 2 o'clock game, and then back on Monday. That'll be the makeup for the rainout from last weekend. And then they won't meet again until the 8th of July. They won't be back here with the Dawgs until the 30th of July. One ball, 1 strike for Eric Matchey. Paulie delivers, pop up, drifting back to the track, left field, and brought in by Sakaris, and he'll get it in quickly. Runner tags and heads to third, but you talked about the win. That was a pop-up on the infield that carried all the way to the warning track.
And it's incredible, and I mean, he hit that ball well, and you would think it's just a can of corn fly ball about halfway through the outfield, but you can tell Sakaris, just by his body language, that ball went a little bit farther than he thought it would.
From our vantage point, it felt like Sakaris would have to move in on that one. Instead, he had to move out. As up is Stephen Elsner, swings and misses on a first pitch. Fastball.
And the one thing when you watch enough ball in Southern Alberta, you can tell the guys that have played outfield in Southern Alberta before, because you get a guy that comes and plays for the Bulls, the Mavericks, Prairie Baseball Academy, Vauxhall, doesn't matter where, but they're not used to the wind, and they might drift to a ball that they might track just fine at home without that howling Southern Alberta wind, and then they get playing here, and they have to get on the horse a little bit more than they thought they might.
A 1-1 is outside for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike to Elsner. He's 1 for 2 with a run scored back in the 4th in this 9-1 lead for the Okotoks Dawgs. Runs have been at a premium as Elsner goes down swinging for a strikeout for Pauly, his first of the night.
Number 8, Ricardo Sanchez.
In this series, the 3 previous games, 10-7, that was an Okotoks win on June 1st. 6-0, the Bulls won June 3rd, and then a 7-2 victory earlier this week for Lethbridge in Okotoks. Some high-scoring games between these two as the first pitch to the leadoff man, Sanchez, in for a strike 0-1. Sanchez, 3 trips to the plate, 3 walks so far.
And these two teams have some very good hitters, so it doesn't surprise me that in the season series that some of the run totals get a little bit elevated there.
Bulls are down 9-1 in this game, but they scored 26 runs in a doubleheader combined on Tuesday night. Back-to-back 13-2 wins over Energy City. Two 2-1 count for Ricardo Sanchez. 3 walks, couple of runs. Runners at second and third as a fastball misses off the plate.
In a 9-1 ball game, the leadoff man doesn't technically have an official at-bat in this game yet for Okotoks.
That's true. 0 for 0 with 3 walks. 4th trip, 4 walks.
We talked about in the first inning just how that leadoff man can just be a catalyst for the offense, and that's certainly been the case for Sanchez here in this one. Reaching and giving the guys behind him a chance to do some damage for Okotoks.
So 3 walks in this inning for Pauly, and the base is loaded for Jake Skaggs. Fastball called strike, 0-1. Looked up, but they gave it to him.
Not sure what the conversation is here.
Bufford will go to the mound to have a discussion with Tyler Pauly.
They're calling it a ball? I'm a little perplexed at this situation. What's going on? There's conversation going on in the Bulls dugout as well. Ryan McDonald's also questioning the situation.
Not sure.
I think that was ball 1.
Yeah, what the discussion is. They called it a strike down there. So an 0-1, and this is a ball. And
it's a balk?
Balk. So another run is coming to score. A balk called by third base umpire Cody Nelson. And it is a 1-0 count. So
I'm not sure why there would have been a 1-0 count initially, because if it was a balk on that first pitch, it would have advanced the runners then.
yeah. Odd.
Unless Pauly was maybe, licking his fingers and didn't wipe it off before he delivered the pitch.
This fastball misses upstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike. One of those situations where you wish you had a mic on the umpire to know what the ruling was.
And it was one of those situations you don't see too often, because
this is a base hit to the left center gap. 1 run scores. In will come a second run. Diving in safe at second is Skaggs. A 2 RBI double, and it's 12-1 for Okotoks here in the 5th inning.
a great piece of hitting there by Skaggs. Just left-handed hitter going to that opposite field gap. with some guys, you can tell when they're really locked in, when they're using that opposite field gap effectively, and that's just a textbook. Not do too much with it, just take what you're given and hit it in the area it's pitched to.
Third straight inning in which the Dawgs have been able to score 3 or more runs. Fourth straight inning with 2 or more runs. And the Bulls are in a big hole now, down 12-1. With a lot of runway to go in this game.
You never know what happens in the game of baseball, but have to be able to prevent runs if you're going to make any form of a comeback here if you're Lethbridge.
We talked about going into this inning, the Bulls hoping that they would not only get a little bit of longevity from Tyler Pauly in this game, but maybe some tidiness, some briskness to the game. But now up to this next pitch will be his 34th pitch of the inning. And it's a strike to make it 3-1, the count to Barry Eisman.
And that was just, you could tell the body language of Eisman there, that was just a straight take. He had no real intention of swinging at that baseball.
3-1. Strike called on the outside corner. Eisman thought it was outside, but now the count full. 35 pitches for Tyler Pauly, and some more action out in the Lethbridge bullpen. 3-2. Slapped foul by Eisman. Eisman is 2 for 3 today, a single and a double. Third straight inning that he has batted with these extended innings for Okotoks. Three-two. And that inside for another walk. And Ryan McDonald, I think, has seen enough.
Call is made.
And the Bulls will go to the bullpen again. 2/3 innings worked for Tyler Pauly. 37 pitches. Gives up 3 runs. 2 on. And a 12-1 lead for the Okotoks Dawgs here at Spitz Stadium, and the 4th pitcher of the night for Lethbridge on the way. And it appears that it'll be Caden Coldwell out of the bullpen.
Right-hander from the Vauxhall Academy of Baseball, hometown of Winnipeg, Manitoba. Listed at 6'2", 210 pounds.
Friendly Manitoba. Wonder if he grew up going to Gold Eyes games out there in Winnipeg.
Certainly a possibility.
So put your player hat on. What's the approach here out of the bullpen with 2 on, 2 out for Caden?
I think if you're any reliever when you come into an inning with runners, you're just focusing on stranding those runners. Given where the score is where it is and you're running in this situation, you want to get out of this jam, limit the damage here, and then give your team as much longevity as you can. This year for Caden, the longest outing he's had in a game this season has been an inning and 2/3 against Medicine Hat on May 31st. So unlikely we'll see him go much further than that, depending on pitch. He certainly could give the Bulls some length here in some middle innings and mop up some innings in a game that they've fallen beyond the 8 ball on.
The Bulls, their 4th pitcher do have
Runners at first and second.
a day off
Batter,
tomorrow
first baseman number 44, Nash
before
Powell.
they start a busy stretch into next week. Of course, a day off yesterday and a couple of days off over the weekend last weekend, so tired arms certainly not a consideration at this point, but you definitely want to get a little bit of longevity from someone in this game, as the first offering from Coldwell is a stroke 1.
This can be the challenges of summer ball when you don't have the roster flexibility that like a major league franchise would have, where they would just throw a guy out there, eat the innings, option him to AAA the next day. You don't have that luxury here in collegiate summer ball.
Big cut by Nash Kroll and an 0-2 count to the first baseman. Runners at first and second. 0-2. Coldwell ready. Foul tip back to the screen on Nash Kroll. 0 for 2 with a walk today. Walked and scored back in the third inning for the Dawgs first baseman. 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Coldwell comes in and does what he needs. He strands 2 on base, gets Kroll swinging, and Caden Coldwell sends the Bulls to the home 5th, but down big. It's 12-1 Okotoks here at Spitz Stadium. You're watching Bulls baseball in the Western Canadian Baseball League on FloCollege.
Lethbridge Bullhorn, all things regarding the Lethbridge Bulls of the Western Canadian Baseball League. Bullhorn has the latest news regarding the Bulls with interviews with current and past players, signings, game recaps, and updates on all the events happening at Spitz Stadium. The Bullhorn is your place for all things regarding baseball in Lethbridge. Get your horns up with the Bullhorn, the Lethbridge Bulls Baseball Report.
This summer, there's only one place to be, and that's Spitz Stadium.
You can sit here. Or here. You can sit here. Or here. Or even here.
But not here. Get your tickets now at bullsbaseball.com and come experience Bulls baseball all summer long. It's going to be unbelievable.
For more than 25 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Access Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
Back at Spitz Stadium and a big lead for the Okotoks Dawgs, a 12-1 score, as a new pitcher for the Bulls, I believe, or for the Dawgs. Is that the same guy?
Still Austin Eaton on the mound for Okotoks.
All right. It's been a while since we've seen him. That's probably why I'm confused.
It's gonna be interesting to see how effective he is in this inning, just considering he's had a lot of time not active, and that can always be a challenge as a pitcher once you find your groove. Is just staying in it and not falling out of it when your team puts up a lot of runs.
First pitch is low for a ball, 1-0. They have him listed as number 19 on the score sheet, but he's wearing number 37.
Does he wear
Lineups in this league.
listed on the lineup as 19 and then
Yes.
also listed on the lineup card as 37, so
Yeah, just not helping small-minded broadcasters. I can tell you that for free. Here's a ball tapped foul for Bernie Sakaris, who leads things off here in the bottom of the 5th.
and I can say with confidence that neither of us are particularly math guys, numbers
No.
guys.
Definitely not.
Just we see numbers on backs of uniforms, so we can know so we sound like we know who we're talking about.
Well, I come from hockey where they have name bars. That helps.
Definitely.
Here's a 1-2 to Sakaris, and that one is up and out of the zone to even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Big cut by Sakaris, and he's down on strikes, one away.
And Eaton's doing a good job of keeping momentum on the Okotoks side. I just look back to one moment in the game that's been pretty crucial in this one. After they scored 4 runs in the top of the third, he was able to come out and put up a fairly quick 0 in the bottom half of that third inning, and momentum hasn't left the Okotoks dugout since.
Drew Bufford now at the plate. Finds himself in an 0-1 count. Eaton offering fastball low. 1-1. Good tap there, but late on it. Foul ball.
Looked like pretty good timing there from Bufford, just off the wrong part of the barrel and straight back.
On deck is Will Turner. Bufford is 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. .211 average this season. As this one in the dirt. You wonder with those extended innings on the offensive side of things for the Dawgs, how that affects an arm like Austin Eaton going 15-20 minutes between mound appearances.
It can be surprisingly difficult. Sometimes it's better to be in that close game where you're locked in and competitive juices always really stay flowing. You know, you're only in the dugout for 5-6 minutes at a time before you're, if that, and then you're back out there, and it can be difficult to reset and stay locked in a game like this.
3-2 count to Bufford. Upstairs, and that'll be a walk to the Bulls catcher. And now the bottom of the order, Will Turner comes to the plate with 1 on and 1 away here in the home 5th. 50 pitches for Austin Eaton now in this game. First pitch off the plate.
Eaton's always one of those guys that's around the strike zone. 15 walks for Texas State this season and no more than 2 in any one outing.
It was his first walk of the night. Here's a bouncer to second for 1 and 2. At first, a 4-6-3 double play for the Okotoks Dawgs to get out of the inning. 5 complete here at Spitz Stadium. It's all Okotoks. 12-1, they lead the Bulls. You're watching the WCBL on FloCollege. Some defensive replacements for the Lethbridge Bulls here as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Carter Clairhout appears to have had his night come to an end after taking that pitch off the outside of the knee. So a couple of defensive replacements as Dallin Blanchard comes into the game. He'll go to left. Brennan McTavish goes to first base from second. And Bernie Sakaris comes from left to second.
I think we got it all right on that.
I think so.
You don't need to carry the 1 divide by 7 there to...
And On the mound is Caden Coldwell. He remains in after a 4-pitch at bat to get Nash Kroll on strikes to end the 5th, as the top of the 6th will be led off by Benito Bonilla.
That's such a great baseball name.
Might be the best in this league. Ricardo Sanchez is pretty good too. Connor Croson, Chase Logan also due up in this inning after Bonilla.
It's always fun when you're covering sports and you just get a say a name of a guy that just suits the sport he's playing so well. You know, Benito Bonilla in baseball, Ricardo Sanchez in baseball. You cover the Western Hockey League. There's quite a few great names out there that are always a joy to say. Braden Yeager, great hockey name.
This pitch off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike to Bonilla.
You'll have one with the Hurricanes this year that I think you're going to have fun. I don't know how to say his last name, but I know his first name's Enzo.
Yeah, Enzo Didimena-Cantanio. Here's a ground ball to third. Turner to first, and 1 away.
That's going to be a great name to say in the heat in the heat of a odd man rush.
More time for saying the name in baseball than in hockey, that's for sure.
They just need to get another guy with a long last name to pair with him on that odd man rush.
Well, the Lethbridge Hurricanes hockey team certainly have some names coming up that will pose problems for broadcasters over the next handful of years as a strike here to Connor Croson. He is 1 for 1 with 2 walks, has come around to score all 3 times that he has been at the plate, and has, of course, the 3-run home run back in the 3rd inning. 1-0, popped up straight in the air, foul territory, drifting, and that'll carry out a play. Hit the roof.
It's just a good breaking ball from Coldwell there. Had Kroll way out front. Popped that up, home run in an elevator shaft, as you call it sometimes.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Croson. On the ground, foul to the Bulls dugout. Popped off the guardrail and back into the field. Turner tosses it aside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Coldwell into the windup. This one in the air, drifting foul out of play. Exciting weekend for the Lethbridge Bulls. Of course, the long weekend with Canada Day on Tuesday. Kind of a long weekend. I guess there's the work day on the Monday. If you were smart, you would have taken the Monday off and have yourself a 4-day weekend. But, of course, the Canada Day doubleheader, always a fun time here at Spitz Stadium, as a base hit here by Croson falls to left, and he's aboard with 1 away.
Always the busiest game of the year for the Bulls typically is that night game on Canada Day. Traditionally, always a double header here at Spitz Stadium on that day, and normally someone from the East Division coming in for that matchup. And
Weyburn this week, or next week, I should say.
I remember a couple of years ago, that second game of the double header where Brad Goodwin hit a walk-off single with the fireworks going off at Henderson Lake at the time.
That's the special thing about the Canada Day game here, is to the southeast of the ballpark is Henderson Lake, and they have the, of course, Canada Day festivities that go on during the day there at Henderson Lake, and they cap it off with the fireworks at night, roughly about 11 o'clock. And you referenced that game a few years ago, and just a perfect sequence of events where a walk-off hit for Brad and the fireworks started at the same time. It was almost synchronized.
I was a little bit panicked at that time, and I'll tell you why. I'm watching the game from up in the press box, and
This one pulled to the second baseman, Sakaris to second for 1. They'll get the lead, runner.
and I can't recall who they were playing that year, but they had a pitcher with some pretty good velocity on the mound at that point in time. And Brad Goodwin's a right-handed hitter, and where they were launching the fireworks at that time was towards the first base side of the field, just behind the grandstand on the first base line here. And a lot of people were watching the fireworks and not really paying too close attention to the baseball game. And I was worried someone was going to get smoked standing at the top of the bleachers there when Brad Goodwin was at bat at that point in time. Thankfully, Brad singled into left field to win the baseball game, and crisis averted. But that's what was going through my mind at the time, watching from up here in the press box.
Always a fun night. Always a sellout. So if you don't have tickets, you're thinking about coming to the game, make sure you get your tickets in advance for the July 1st evening game. Eric Matchey at the plate with a 1-1 count. 12-1 Okotoks leading the Lethbridge Bulls. Runner at first, 2 away. This one outside. Good knock down by Bufford with the glove to keep that one from skipping by. Pop up center field. In comes Jalen Ryan, and he'll settle under it to get the third out of the inning as Matchey flies out to end the road 6th. It's Okotoks up big here at Spitz Stadium. You're watching the WCBL on FloCollege.
T-Bone is a busy bull these days, so please give him a hand keeping Spitz Stadium clean by using the Ability Resource Center's recycling bins located throughout Spitz Stadium. Ability Resources is the official recycling depot of the Lethbridge Bulls and Spitz Stadium.
For more than 40 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
Home 6th we go here at Spitz Stadium, and for those like us, small-minded, confused people, Austin Eaton back out on the mound for the 6th inning, and very efficient night so far tonight for Eaton. Only 52 pitches through the first 5 innings.
Well, the best pitch any pitcher can throw, that any pitching coach will tell you, is strike one. And that's what Eaton's been throwing all night long, and getting weak contact early in counts by Lethbridge, and that's been a healthy recipe for success for the right-hander here tonight.
It's such a juxtaposition to what we've seen from Lethbridge's standpoint tonight, where Eaton's been able to get ahead in the count and get the leadoff man in the inning for the most part out. The other way, the Bulls pitching staff have struggled to get ahead in the count and have lost the leadoff man, and it seemingly has just snowballed on Lethbridge to this point.
And it helps, I think, for Eaton because he got a healthy lead early in the game, so he's able to relax. And it's different for some guys because some guys need to be like Max Scherzer, where they're intense.
Made the start for Toronto today.
A borderline psychopath like Max Scherzer on the mound sometimes. For some guys, it's easier just to get in the rocking chair and be relaxed and not try to do too much. And whatever it is for Eaton, it's been working for him here tonight.
Well, 1 ahead in the count in this one to Jalen Ryan, who leads things off here in the home 6th of the Bulls' top of the order as a comebacker. Good job. Oh, what a throw. And not in time. Boy, that is as close to an all-star type play as you will see for Eric Matchey. He scaled to his right, cross-body through, and Nash Kroll stretched to make the grab slightly after Jalen Ryan was able to get to first.
For Matchy, that's the only play he had to even make a play on the runner, because of that ball wasn't hit particularly well. It was well placed by Ryan, and that's all Matchy could do to make it a play, and he almost made it.
That's an unbelievable play, whether he got the out or not. As a first pitch strike to Lee Matsuzaki. He's 0 for 2 today with a couple of ground ball outs. Leadoff man aboard for the Bulls. That's a hot shot right to the second baseman, and they double him up. Fans don't like it, but the first base umpire, Cam Hampton, punches out Jalen Ryan. And just like that, 2 away.
Matsuzaki hit that ball right on the screws, unfortunately right to the Okotoks second baseman, Eric Matchy, and it's a tough situation to be in as a base runner. You're anticipating a ball hit that hard to get through, but unfortunately it's right at the Okotoks second baseman who makes the catch and makes a good throw to retire Ryan for the second out on that play.
So 2 down and a first pitch strike to Dalen Blanchard, his first at bat today after coming in as a defensive replacement in the spot of Carter Clairhout in the order. 0-1 and a check swing. Did he go? Yes, they appealed, and Hampton says he did cross the plane. So 0-2 for Dalen Blanchard.
And you hope for Clairhout this is just a rest of the evening type thing and not something that keeps him out of the lineup for a few days.
Well, in a 12-1 game, no sense aggravating an injured knee if it's anything serious, let alone if it's not.
It's a long summer, and Carter's one of those players the Bulls like to pencil in every day, and this is all part of keeping him healthy moving forward.
Swing and a miss, and they'll have to go to first. Blanchard strikes out, and it's 6 complete here at Spitz Stadium. And Okotoks has a commanding 12-1 lead. This is Bulls baseball and the WCBL on FloCollege. A new pitcher and a new catcher for the Lethbridge Bulls here at Stadium as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Here are the adjustments.
Gavin Allen.
And they haven't announced the new catcher. Gavin Allen is into the ball game. He takes over for Caden Coldwell. And it appears to be, I think it's Ben Simmons that's come in as catcher.
It's a little difficult to read the number with the chest protector. Perfectly blocks the number. Hard to tell if it's a 2-5, a 2-7.
Well, the official lineup that we have from the Lethbridge Bulls and Ryan McDonald's group, Axel Pulse wears number 27, but he's scratched out. Ben Simmons, 25, is listed as an affiliate player. He is a catcher, so that would be my best guess. But follow the WCBL in any capacity, sometimes the lineups are a little askewed.
Guys come in, guys come out, guys leave in the summer.
Guys that stay on rosters that aren't actually with the club, things of that nature.
I recall a number of years ago when I was up with the team in 2019 for the playoffs. Levi Abbott was up on the team at the time, and he was came into pitch in the playoffs, and he was announced as David Huddleston, who had left the team 2 weeks earlier. But Levi was wearing David's jersey number, which is why that staff in Okotoks goes to punch the number into point streak, and that's what pops up.
So Allen, at least we know, is doing the pitching right now. We suspect it's Simmons doing the catching, and a strike here and a nice frame job by the catcher.
A little bit more on Gavin Allen. He's a sophomore out of Martinsburg, Missouri. Plays at William Woods University, which is an NAIA program.
And he gets the leadoff man down on strikes as Barry Eisman takes a double look here in the seventh. Oh, sorry, that was Steven Elsner. My apologies, not Eisman. Eisman wears 28. Elsner wears 38.
We are not math guys.
Yes, we've established that many a time through the course of the night.
Do not ask us to be your engineer, your accountant, none of the above.
Not capable. Barely get by doing this. So a strikeout for Allen. That's his first of the night. For the Bulls staff overall, they're 9th. And Sanchez, leadoff man, has 4 appearances, 4 walks. This one in the air, popped up right field, drifting into foul territory, and McTavish will make the grab. And so Sanchez officially has an at-bat tonight.
0 for 1?
0 for 1 with 4 walks.
Center fielder number 3, Jake Skaggs.
And now Jake Skaggs will come to the plate with 2 away. Quick work by Allen so far. That's a good fastball for a strike, 0-1.
Really good outing for Allen so far. As we talked about, the most important pitch is strike 1, and that's what he's been providing Lethbridge thus far.
This one inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Appearance number 6 for the right-hander.
This one slapped foul down the left field line and out of play.
Last appearance for Allen came on June 23rd against the Brooks Bombers. He worked 2 innings in that ball game, allowed 2 runs, both of them gave up 2 hits, did not walk a man, and struck out a guy.
It's a ground ball and a base hit for Skaggs to left, and a 2-out single for the Okotoks center fielder. His second hit of the ball game. A 2 RBI double back in the 5th inning did Skaggs, and now a single, and Barry Eisman will stand in. The designated hitter. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Some high heat.
Working ahead in this count as well, even after giving up the 2-out single to Jake Skaggs.
That's a base hit to center. Ryan lost his hat, but gets it into the shortstop to hold the runner at second. And back-to-back 2-out singles have a couple of runners on for Okotoks.
Dawgs playing station to station at this point in time with the way that ball was hit. Skaggs could have had an opportunity to advance to third base on that play, but with the score where it is, the Dogs are just content to take the 90 feet at this point in time.
And now Nash Kroll will dig in. 0 for 3 with a walk today. Pulls this one and drifting foul just down that left field line.
Flagpoles out in center field are a little bit more limp than what we saw them earlier in the ballgame. Maybe in the second, third inning, maybe that ball gets a little bit of help down the left field line there.
So balls, 1 strike to Kroll. Swings and misses on this one, 0-2. Kroll has struck out twice, grounded out, walked, and scored in the third in his 4 trips thus far. 0-2 on the ground, and that one foul. Runners at first and second. Skaggs at second. Heisman at first, both on 2-out singles. 0-2 on the ground. Charging and skipping on Turner. Hit him in the tip of the glove and couldn't corral it. And that's a error, I believe, to the third baseman. And now the bases are loaded.
I agree with you there, Forbesy. I believe that should be scored an error. But I'm not the official scorekeeper.
No.
So
we will wait to see how they rule that. First pitch to Bonilla is a strike, 0-1. 2 out, bases loaded, top of the 7th. Pulled and jumped on Turner. 1 run scores, 13-1. Hot shot RBI for Benito Bonilla.
that ball was scalded by Bonilla there. 1 hopper at Turner. Could score that play either way. That's a very difficult play to make, but we'll see what they decide to assign that play.
I'm not the official scorer. That's a hit for me.
I agree with you there.
That was a hot shot down the line. Bases remain loaded. This one in the air and drifting back foul at a play is Croson. Comes to the plate. He has a 3-run home run tonight. 2 for 2 with 2 walks. Does not have the assist of the wind. Completely calm now here at Spitz Stadium after what was a pretty healthy wind for the first 5 innings. 1-1 in the air. That's going to find a gap. Down for 1 run. In comes a 2nd run. Croson to 2nd. He's going to turn to 3rd. A 3rd run comes in. And that is a triple for Croson, 3 RBI. And it is a massive lead, 16-1 for Okotoks.
If the game wasn't blown open already, that swing of the bat from Croson will do it. Efficient 2 outs to start the inning for Gavin Allen, and then the wheels kind of have fallen off the bus here a little bit as the inning's gone along.
And the first pitch here to Chase Logan is a strike, 0-1. So Connor Croson, as this one pulled for a base hit, and another run is going to score 17 for the Dawgs. RBI single for Chase Logan.
Just a good piece of hitting by Logan there, staying back on that breaking ball, able to punch it through the right side between Sakaris and McTavish on the right side of the infield.
5 runs after the first 2 were retired. A 2-out rally here in the top of the 7th inning, and Okotoks up 17-1. Swing and a miss for Matchy. To finish the thought on Connor Croson, though, should they rule out a triple, and I'm not sure it will be, it might be a double and an error officially. However, if it is a triple, that puts him a double shy of the cycle.
And with the nature of this game, it's likely he gets another at-bat on.
Pardon me, 1-2, and that one punched to the right fielder, and Matsuzaki on the fly will bring it in. The Okotoks Dawgs flexing their muscle here on this Thursday night. A 2-out rally in the top of the 7th that produces 5 more runs, and they lead it 17-1 at Spitz Stadium. 7th inning stretch. You're watching the Lethbridge Bulls and the WCBL on FloCollege.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Austin Eaton's night is over as Brody Forno will come out of the Okotoks bullpen. Eaton goes 6 complete and in line for the win, and I suspect, safe to say, likely to get that victory with a 17-1 lead, although seen stranger things happen in the Western Canadian Baseball League.
As you said, it's likely. I would word it as highly likely. Bulls would need 2 touchdowns and a field goal to take the lead.
Hey, look, they scored 26 runs the other night in 2 games against Energy City in this ballpark, so it is possible, likely not plausible that it happens in this game. However, 3 innings worth of bats for the Bulls to work with, and they lead things off here. Jack Kaliski, the designated hitter, takes a first pitch strike from Forno. At this rate, you either hope for 2 things as a broadcaster. You hope that it's either an epic comeback and a historic night for the Lethbridge Bulls, or it's just quick work from here on out.
Either or would be ideal.
Yes. 1-1 from Forno. In the air, fly ball, deep right field. Backing up is Bonilla, gone. A solo shot for Jack Kaliski. Life for the Bulls.
You talk about how strong you have to be to hit a ball like that to the opposite field with the flag sticks still here at Spitz Stadium. No help from the wind at all. That's all Jack Kaliski pounding that ball over the right field wall. Really good swing of the bat by the Bulls cleanup hitter from Our Lady of the Lake University.
4th home run of the season for Kaliski, his 14th career WCBL home run, and it's 17-2.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
There's a chance. Forno ready's offering is punched to center, and that's going to be grabbed nicely by Jake Skaggs. Boy, that looked like it was going to fall for a base hit, but Skaggs came in and backhand grabbed it right before the grass for the first out.
It did appear that Skaggs almost handcuffed himself there, almost overran that ball and made it a more difficult play than it could have been. But the Okotoks center fielder able to record that one.
So Brennan McTavish now to the plate with one away. Here in the home seventh as an off-speed pitch misses for a ball 1-0 from 4-0. Good pitch there, but just missed. 2 balls, no strikes. McTavish today 0 for 2. Foul tip back and a 2-1 count now to Brennan.
That was a healthy cut there as well from the Bulls' now first baseman.
This one upstairs, 3 balls and a strike. Bernie Sakaris is on deck. And I don't know who's wearing number 27. It is the catcher. But no one on the Bulls lineup card is number 27. McTavish takes a walk. Sakaris will come to the plate.
It still appears to be Simmons, but I guess he's wearing 27 tonight.
Your guess is as good as mine.
We'll have to wait for public address announcer Brian Janot to tell us who that is.
We will. Local legend Brian Janot. This pitch inside on Bernie Sakaris for a ball, 1-0.
Brian did the public address for the Bulls, the University of Lethbridge Pronghorns. I'm sure he did games for the Hurricanes at the NMAX Center at one point in time as well. But
he has been around for a long time as pitch gets past the catcher, Chase Logan. And so to second will go McTavish on the wild pitch.
I remember hearing his voice at both Kodiak's and Pronghorns basketball games because my older cousins, Jordan and Logan, played together one year on the Kodiaks, and then the younger brother, Logan, moved on to the Pronghorns, and it was Brian calling all the names for those teams at that point in time.
And one thing about Brian is he's a consummate professional, never underprepared, always professional. As this one slapped out of play by Bernie Sakaris. You wonder, and it's 17-2, so we have the liberty to do this. If and when Brian officially retires, because at one point he did retire for the Lethbridge Bulls, and then he's come back, quote unquote, out of retirement. If once he officially is retired, if they name the booth here after him, as a ball popped up and drifting to left all the way to the track, and grabbing that is Stephen Elsner for the second out of the inning, and McTavish will head from second to third on the tag.
It very well could happen, Forbesy, but
Number 27, Ben Simmons.
and it is Ben Simmons.
There we are.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian Janot.
He's a lot more intelligent than either of us.
So Simmons wearing number 27, not his listed 25. I'll have a discussion with Ryan McDonald about that after the game. Will stand in for his first time, punches one to the pitcher, and that will end the 7th inning. A solo home run off the bat of Jack Kaliski. A run back for the Bulls, but they still trail big. 17-2, Okotoks leads Lethbridge. We'll pause and come back for the 8th at Spitz Stadium next. This is the WCBL on FloCollege. Dustin Forbes, Nathan Ryder with you tonight in a big lead for the Okotoks Dawgs. Our producer is Clayton Yates. As we take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, it's a big lead for Okotoks here in Lethbridge. Elsewhere across the Western Canadian Baseball League, top of the ninth inning, Medicine Hat and Regina are tied at 5. That one in the hat. Moose Jaw leading Fort McMurray 3-0 at Legacy Dodge Field at Shell Place. Say that 10 times fast. Energy City defeats Swift Current 9-8 today. And Moose Jaw 3-1. And delayed due to rain, Silver Lake and Brooks. That's the out-of-town scoreboard. Here as we go to the top of the 8th inning at Spitz Stadium. And to lead things off is Stephen Elsner, who led off the 7th inning with a strikeout.
It still boggles my mind sometimes. So used to Med Hat being in the West Division, but now that they're with a couple of franchises leaving the league just before COVID, they shifted over to the East Division and informally called the Saskatchewan Division, depending on who you talk to.
Here's a fly ball. That's a base hit falling at center. The funny thing too is that Brooks remains in the West, and they're only about 35 to 40 minutes west of Medicine Hat.
Yeah, you would think if they were in the same division, they would see each other the most out of any opponent. Just like when they make the schedule for other leagues, they like to put geographical rivals play each other often. Like in the Western Hockey League, for example, you see the same teams nearby quite often.
Cost measures for sure in terms of travel costs in those situations.
Typically, it's 10 meetings this year between these two clubs. I think in the Western Hockey League for some of your divisional opponents next season, 8 meetings.
Yeah. Pop up on the infield, 108 as Sanchez down.
I recall one of my years working up in Prince Albert, the Raiders had 10 meetings one season with the Saskatoon Blades, and I think about an additional 4 or 5 in the preseason.
It's a lot. You certainly get sick of the same opponents over time.
Depending on how you do it, though, those schedules just work out beautifully if you got a meaningful game at the last game of the regular season like you had.
Well, in those instances, you talk about hockey, Prince Albert, Saskatoon, Lethbridge, Medicine Hat does it too. A lot of home and homes. So it's 10 meetings or 8 meetings, but it's 4 sets, basically. 4 weekends through the course of the year where you have a home and home set. So it kind of turns into playing the same team 4 times, and you get 2 games each. Similar to baseball in some regard, with your 2 or 3 game series. Less at this level because you have the ability to play day trip games like today, where Okotoks comes for 1, and then they'll go home after this game. As a pop up to left, and Blanchard lost it, and it falls as he came in well too much. Now he'll get it in, but that will hold the runners at second and third. And an error there on Dallin Blanchard.
That's one thing with this league that I wonder if they'd eventually transition to, being able to do the more traditional 2-game set, 3-game set. I know you often get that on the schedule when a team like Fort McMurray comes into town just because of schedule, or a team from the East Division will come in.
Yeah, proximity for sure.
Or you see it in the minor leagues where teams will even come in for like a 5 or 6 game set in the minor leagues just because of how daunting that schedule is.
Add a doubleheader in a situation as a run is going to score here on a base hit by Barry Eisman and make it 2 runs, and it's 19-2 on a stand-up double for 2 RBI for Eisman, as Skaggs and Elsner both come in to score.
Going back to talking about schedules, I think we're talking about the Western Hockey League because both of us are familiar with the Western Hockey League, but I think it worked out really well for the league this past year, just with two of the league's 4 divisions essentially coming down to the final game of the regular season, with the Central Division between Calgary and Medhack coming down to Game 68, and same thing out east between Prince Albert and Saskatoon. It just worked out beautifully that way, and it almost worked that way with the BC division as well.
Yeah, and the way it's looking in the WCBL, it might be the same this year across the Western Canadian Baseball League, because you look at the 2 divisions going into this game. Lethbridge leading the way 14-7, Okotoks 14-8. They've played 1 more game, so half a game back. So they'll flip-flop presumably after this game is over, because it's 19-2 for Okotoks. And then you look at the East Division, Saskatoon having another great season, 19-3. They won 4 straight. But Medicine Hat having a really good year, 16-7. You could prognosticate that could go down to the wire as well. And you can't ever count Sylvan Lake out, because they have a really good team, although only a game above 500, but only 3 games back of Lethbridge going into action today.
It's going to be so important to have home field advantage throughout the West Division playoffs, especially. You saw how important it was for Okotoks a year ago. That's how the Bull season ended, was in a walk-off to Okotoks in Game 3. Just that last at-bat in a pivotal Game 3 can be the difference.
Here's a fly ball to center field. Ryan to his right. And he'll make the grab 2 down.
And having that last at-bat in a playoff matchup, or in hockey, having that home ice advantage in a Game 7 can be so crucial.
Not to disparage the Energy City Cactus Rats, but you're talking about, of course, they've won 2 in a row, but a team that's 4 games below 500. If you get the 1 seed in the West Division, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're still over a month away from the WCBL playoffs, but if you finish as the 1 seed, presumably you get a below 500 team, whether that's Energy City or Fort McMurray, who's a game back of Energy City as it stands today, as opposed to either Sylvan Lake or Okotoks if you're Lethbridge in that 2-3 matchup, as a fly ball down the right field line for a foul.
It's not always a guarantee, though, because you saw last year the Moose Jaw Miller Express was a 4 seed, and they made it all the way to Game 3 of the league final against Okotoks a season ago. They upset Regina in the first round, and then they had a really good series against Saskatoon, who was the 3 seed.
Here's a high pitch by Allen for a ball 1-2.
Not the first time that year that the Saskatoon and Moose Jaw played in an East final. I'll say that much.
1-2 to Bonilla, and he makes contact on this, popped it up, and that's going to fall for a base hit. And they don't give the runaround as Eisman holds at third. He probably could have got home. And 2 out, runners on the corners.
Nothing against the Miller Express or the Berries, but that Eastern Conference final in 2024 between Saskatoon and Moose Jaw is going to go down in the record books in the Western Hockey League.
6 overtimes?
That's correct.
Imagine 6 extra inning games in a playoff series in a baseball.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Where do I sign up for that?
It would be fun. 0-1 to Connor Croson. Croson today, we've talked about 3-run home run, 2 walks, a single, and a triple for, I think that was 2 RBI his last time up. 3, I should say. So a double here. And he would hit for the cycle. And would drive in 2 more runs. 2-1 on the ground to the corner. Turning and heading to second is Connor Croson, and you can bet he will stop. That is the cycle for Connor Croson in this baseball game.
Incredible individual achievement for Connor Croson. Not something you expect to see when you show up to the ballpark, but he's been great at the plates all night long, and he's able to do something not many guys get the opportunity to do in this league.
A 3-run home run in the third, a single in the sixth, a 3 RBI triple in the seventh, and an RBI double in the eighth. And Connor Croson is 4 for 4 with 2 walks. And he's hit for the cycle. And he's chased Gavin Allen from this ball game, and he's made it 20-2. What a night for the third baseman of the Okotoks Dawgs, Connor Croson. And into the ball game is Logan McNamara for the Bulls. Their 6th pitcher.
Just a matter of getting to the finish line for Lethbridge at this point. But again, just Croson's been locked in at the plate all night long. I mean, full transparency, I'm writing down my sort of jot note scorebook here. I may have forgotten to write down Croson's name at the start of the ball game on mine, and I just kind of jerry-rigged them in there. So I guess that means a good thing.
So Logan McNamara will come into the ball game here.
McNamara listed at 6'1", 190 pounds out of Port Moody, British Columbia. He plays collegiately at Three Rivers College.
So you wonder what the discussion will be after a game like this for Lethbridge. Day off tomorrow, and then they open up a busy stretch on Saturday against Brooks here at Spitz Stadium. They'll welcome Brooks on Saturday. That'll be a 7 o'clock game. Sunday, the Dawgs are back. 2 o'clock ball game. Dawgs again on Monday, 7 o'clock. Then the doubleheader against Weyburn, 2 o'clock and 7:30 on Canada Day. And then the Bulls hit the road for 3 and 4 of their next 5 after that. So a day off to look their wounds after this game.
Have to have a short memory in this league sometimes, just with the results of a night like this. Not much you can really do about it, but turn the page and look forward to the fact that the sun will rise on the season tomorrow, and you'll have a chance to play another baseball game in the near future.
A 20-run night for the Okotoks Dawgs here at Spitz Stadium, and Connor Croson has hit for the cycle. And by our count, has 7 RBI in this game.
Not the most I've seen in an individual performance, but it's up there.
He's had himself a night. He's been on base 6 times with 2 walks, including the cycle. Here's a 1-1 from McNamara, and that one is a called strike. 1-2 the count now to Chase Logan. And Logan has a home run in this game, had a 2-run shot back in the second. One-two high off the mesh and jumps down. Simmons will hold it. Bonilla not coming from third. If it was 3-2, you'd think he'd probably get sent, but not
Absolutely.
when it's 20-2.
Okotoks just playing station to station at this point in time, not trying to run up the score on anybody. If they get hits, they're gonna take what they're worth. But
fly ball left field. Blanchard backing up, and he couldn't come up with the catch. 1 run scores. Bonilla in from third, and a slow trot from Croson to third, and it's 21-2. And Blanchard has his second error of the ball game since coming into it.
Tough night for Dalen Blanchard out there in left field. That ball's hit well, and not exactly a can of corners. That's a well-hit baseball, and good play to get there. Just couldn't finish it off by putting it in the glove.
This is a hot shot and gone. A 3-run home run for Eric Matchey. And it's 24-2.
First pitch fastball, belt high, middle of the plate. Eric Matchey's a good hitter. He's been around this league for a while, and he'll do damage with that. Puts it over the video board in left field to extend insurance runs, if it wasn't in doubt already.
Left fielder number 38, Steven Eisner.
Seven runs have scored in this 8th inning. Foul tip by Elsner. Elsner led off in this inning. Two away. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Mercifully, the 8th inning ends, and the Bulls down big, 24-2 here at Spitz Stadium. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Lethbridge. You're watching the WCBL on FloCollege. Bottom of the 8th inning we go here at Spitz Stadium, and a new pitcher for the Okotoks Dawgs as Jaden Ball will come out. Great baseball name, Jaden Ball. For those watching, if you're still watching in this game, 24-2 in favor of Okotoks. It is the bottom of the 8th inning. On your screen it says bottom of the 9th inning on the scoreboard. We understand that there is an issue with the scoreboard at left field. It's an inning ahead. Not sure how that happened, but it synchronizes with the camera feed that you have and the score ticker that you have. So if you're wondering why we're losing it, there has been a lot of things happen tonight with the 24 runs scored by Okotoks, but it is indeed the bottom of the 8th inning.
We are also losing it a little bit.
Well, yes. Turner leads things off here in the bottom of the 8th for the Lethbridge Bulls, the third baseman, followed by Jalen Ryan and Lee Matsuzaki. Due up as Ball delivers, and a fast ball there for a strike, 0-2.
Coming out of the bullpen and throwing strikes, getting ahead, that's what you need from a reliever in a scoreline such as this.
This one fouled back by Turner. On the ground to third, charging, throw, dug up by Kroll, and a great play there by Connor Croson, who has been great offensively and pretty good defensively as well for the Dogs. One away here in the bottom of the third.
Just a great night for the Okotoks third baseman in general.
Center fielder number 7, Jalen Ryan.
So one away, Jalen Ryan top of the order. Ball, fastball, pulled fair down the left field line. Ryan will turn and head to second. He'll dig his way to second, now headed to third. The throw not in time, and Jalen Ryan has himself a triple.
Hard hit ground ball into the left field corner. Steven Elsner has a little bit of a difficult time fielding that ball cleanly. That allows Ryan to get an extra 90 feet.
And RBI territory now for Matsuzaki. With one on, one away here in the 8th. Check swing by Matsuzaki. Swing and a miss. Matsuzaki 2-1. That was a big cut.
Trying to do a lot with that baseball in this situation.
That one inside. 3 balls, 1 strike to the left fielder of the Bulls. Right fielder, I should say. And that's going to be a walk for Matsuzaki. So runners on the corners for Dalen Blanchard. And one away. Blanchard is 0 for 1 with a strikeout after coming into the game for Carter Clairhout. Foul tip on a check swing by Blanchard, 0-1.
Blanchard came into the game on defense and he's got some trial by fire early in the game with some well hit balls his direction.
Oh, 1. Fastball inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. So after tonight, the season series will be tied 2-2 between Lethbridge and Okotoks, with a bunch more meetings, 6 more after tonight, as a foul tip by Blanchard.
A little bit more background on Blanchard. He's a sophomore at Southern Arkansas University, teammates with Clairhout, who he replaced earlier in the game, and he calls Magnolia, Arkansas home.
0-2, strike 3 with a fastball from Ball, and 2 down.
Designated hitter number 26, Jack Kaliski.
That is only the 5th strikeout of the night for the Dawgs. Only 4 strikeouts for Eaton in this game. The Bulls staff actually has more strikeouts than the Okotoks staff, believe it or not, in this game.
Just a result of getting into deeper counts. Okotoks has thrown a lot of strike one, hit a lot of bats early in counts, and it's a recipe for success, but maybe not have the gaudy strikeout totals that you would typically get.
One ball, one strike to Kaliski. He had a solo shot for a home run his last time up. That was in the 7th inning, opposite field.
Just impressive swing of the bat, too.
Big cut, Kaliski over top of it.
Anytime you can go to the opposite field with some authority is fun to watch, since not many hitters have that on their resume.
Two. Cut on and fouled back.
In terms of the MLB, the one guy I find the most fun to watch hit to the opposite field with authority is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. Helps that he's 6'7", but he can hit a ball the opposite field farther than I think anybody right now.
Another foul tip by Kaliski. Staying alive with runners on the corners and 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Of course, plenty of guys can do that. I mean, Bo Bichette is another guy that hits to the opposite field a lot that comes to mind. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. can do it with the best of them. James Wood was just the first name that came to mind for me.
Who in your mind do you think is the best opposite field hitter in baseball ever?
Ever?
Might be a loaded question, but it's 24-2, so.
Fair point, Dustin.
Yes.
It's in terms, are you talking with authority or just in general, hitting to the opposite field?
Both. Why not?
Just in terms of hitting to the opposite field?
Sure.
Ichiro.
Yeah, that's fair. Slappy.
Like,
I grew up on the West Coast, and we got Como 4, which was the local television outlet for Seattle, and they carried a lot of Mariner games. So we had as many Mariner games on TV as the Toronto Blue Jays in Canada. And my dad and I always called Ichiro Suzuki Slappy because he would just slap it to left all the time.
Got 3,000 hits even though he didn't start in North America until he was 28.
Here's a ground ball to second with time. The throw to first, and that is the inning. We'll get your velocity opposite field hitter when we come back mercifully for the 9th inning. It's all Okotoks here at Spitz Stadium. You're watching the WCBL on FloCollege. Top of the 9th inning here at Spitz Stadium. It's the Okotoks Dawgs 24 and the Lethbridge Bulls 2. As the top of the order for the Dawgs will lead things off, and that'll be Ricardo Sanchez, who will come to the plate for the 7th time in this ball game. He's 0 for 2, and you think, wait, what? Yes, 0 for 2 with 4 walks today is Ricardo.
Hard to put that into.
And he was 0 for 0 with 4 walks before he popped up the last 2 times up.
Didn't have an official at bat, I think, until the 7th inning.
Which, when you think about it, an official at bat not counting when it's a walk, it seems unfair almost.
Yeah.
You should get like a half point or something.
It appears on the stat sheet as a plate appearance, but not an at bat.
A ball issued to Sanchez from Logan McNamara to open up the 9th. And another one upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, when you think about it, it makes sense because it would affect the batting average
Yes,
if you listed it as an at bat. But
there's a strike, 2 and 1. It's the old money ball. Do I care if you walk or not? I only care that you get on base.
that is such a great movie. So many one-liners you can pull from that movie.
3 and 1 to Sanchez. Popped up. Center field. Ryan lost it, and that's going to fall. Sanchez legging to second, and he'll stop there on a stand-up. And will that go down as a hit or an error?
I think it's a hit because he never touched it.
That's what I think, too. So the first hit of the game for Ricardo Sanchez.
Difficult time of night, just kind of that dusk where the sky's not completely black. There's still a little faint amount of light, which makes it a little bit more difficult to track the ball.
So a base hit and a double for Sanchez. 0-1 count to the batter Skaggs, the center fielder. He's got a couple of hits tonight. Had a double for a couple of RBI back in the 5th, singled in the 7th, has scored twice, struck out twice, reached twice via error. One ball, 2 strikes to Skaggs. And that one upstairs and outside. Skaggs, Eisman, due up. Kroll, Bonilla, Croson down in the 6 hole. If you like, well, heads up, not to say history, I guess, because it wouldn't be really history, but Connor Croson's hit for the cycle. Imagine if he added a grand slam to that to go along with the cycle as well. An additional home run. What would you call that?
I'm not sure what you call it.
Come on, you're the baseball guy here.
I think the most, as good as the cycle is,
There's a strikeout for McNamara.
I think the best achievement in terms of offensive achievement you can get in baseball is the home run cycle.
Right.
Which I almost got to witness in person once by Edwin Encarnacion back in 2015.
That would be a solo home run, a 2-run home run, a 3-run home run, and a grand slam.
He was only missing the solo home run.
Yeah, I remember that game. You were there for that game.
Yeah. Yeah, with sitting in the left field bleachers with my mom that day.
That's a hot shot for a foul ball, courtesy of Barry Eisman.
And I believe he had like a 20-plus game hitting streak going into that game too.
Ed Wing Many a good seasons in that generation of the Toronto Blue Jays with the likes of Jose Bautista. Here's a ball pulled to the right field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Heading to second is Eisman, and he'll hold there, and they hold the runner at third. And 2 on, 1 away for Nash Kroll.
You talk about that season in particular, that was just about a month after Alex Anthopoulos made a bunch of big moves at the trade deadline there for the likes of David Price and Troy Tulowitzki.
First baseman number 44, Nash Cross.
Those are some good teams.
That was the Saturday game that we were at. We went to the game on the Friday night as well, and we saw Josh Donaldson go off the facing of the fifth deck. Off of Matt Boyd.
Oh, Kroll just got hit.
He hit that ball off of Matt Boyd, who the Blue Jays traded 3 weeks earlier for David Price.
Right.
And I just turned 15 at the time. And the batter before was Tulowitzki. He was hitting leadoff. Donaldson was hitting second. And Tulowitzki hit a changeup down and away, just dunked it like 329 feet into the bullpen. I go, okay, this is what a home run at the Rogers Center looks like.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt your story time because it's a great story. However, if Bonilla goes out, Connor Croson is on deck with the bases loaded.
Something to watch. We'll see if you're Astrodamus here with your. I might have to ask.
I did call him for the cycle his last at bat, as this one flared out of play.
If Connor Croson hits a grand slam, I may ask you for winning Powerball numbers. Just be ready.
Give myself the winning Powerball number before I give it to you. If I win, you can have a candy bag. Here's a 1-1 high and inside for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike to Bonilla. Clayton Yates was like, ooh, candy bag. I forgot I had one. He's digging into the candy here. Gummy worms. Nice.
Late night sugar.
I'm good. I got my own.
Late night sugar rush.
Yeah. Here's a ground ball to third. Second for 1. First double play. So Connor Croson's bid at the Grand Slam will go for naught. 25-2. The Dawgs had a run on the double play. And we'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Stranger things have happened in the world of sport over the years, but the Lethbridge Bulls have to bat around twice.
Approximately.
2.5 times, really. Down 22 runs, 24-2 in this ball game here at Spitz Stadium to the Okotoks Dawgs, and another new pitcher for Okotoks as on the mound and out of the bullpen is Easton Corey here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And Steven Andrichik, followed by Brendan McTavish and Bernie Sakaris are due up here in the 9th.
I don't think you would classify this as a high leverage appearance.
Bottom of the 9th inning, Leading off for the Bulls.
Certainly not a save opportunity.
Would have had to pitch 2 more innings for that.
Steven Andrechik will stand in today. Has a double scored back in the second inning. At that point, it made it a 2-1 game.
That feels like 10 years ago.
It does. As he slapped one foul on the first offering from Corey. We started with an Eaton on the mound for the Dogs. Now we're going to end with an Easton on the mound for the Dogs. Here's a 1-1. And that one a ball. 2-1 to Andrechik.
Despite the heavy offensive performances, a lot of the same faces still in the game for Okotoks, even up 22.
Pop-up, drifting back and out of play. I'll give credit where credit is due. If you're still watching, thank you. Still some people in the crowd here tonight, despite the score, although has thinned out over the last few innings, as you might expect, here at Spitz Stadium. This one fouled back again by Andrechik and out of play. One thing about baseball is it's a nice leisurely night regardless of the score. If it's 22-2 or 24-2 or 3-2, it's still a nice night at the ballpark on a summer's night. Here's another ball popped back, and that's 3 straight by Andrechik that's snapped back over the roof.
And sometimes the experience of going to the ballpark is just like the experience of going to the ballpark. The game's just kind of a bonus at that point if you're doing it right.
Here's a 2-2. Inside, count full to Andrechik. Battling.
And that's part of the beauty of baseball, too, is that every ballpark is a little bit different and not the same size. I mean, in hockey, you might get it slightly different depending on what league you're in. Some teams might play on Olympic-sized ice. Some teams might play North American-sized ice, but that might be the only difference you really get. Everything else is essentially the same about the playing surface. Basketball is the same. Baseball, you get that little bit of a difference, especially in the major leagues. You got ballparks with different dimensions. And
well, you think of Brooks in this league.
With the wind blowing out.
Yes. That's a home run hitter's ballpark. Offering to McTavish inside for a ball. 1-0 from Corey.
And even in this league, Siemens Stadium plays different from Spitz Stadium. Athletic Park in Medicine Hat will play different than Cairns Field up in Saskatoon.
Foul ball by McTavish down the left field line and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Even if the field is similar dimensions all set, they're depending on where they are and the way the wind blows, whatever other conditions they have there can affect how the game plays, and that's always something so special about the game of baseball.
Inside here, 2 balls and a strike. In Lethbridge, 400 is straightaway center. To the corners, 330. And then to the dugout, or to the bullpens rather, so left center, right center, 357 are the dimensions. Here's a flare to left for a base hit for McTavish. And the first 2 aboard here in the 9th.
Which is, here in Lethbridge, is a pretty standard outfield configuration.
Second baseman, number
Well,
1,
even you
Maurice
think about
Harris.
ballparks too, not only configurations in terms of depth of wall, but how much foul territory there is. You think of the old athletic park with the Oakland Athletics and all the foul territory they had there. Tropicana Field, likewise.
Both ballparks that aren't hosting major league games this year, but maybe for one again in the near future. Where
After that hurricane and cyclone last year ripped the roof off of the Trop, home of the Tampa Bay Rays. Of course, Oakland moving to Las Vegas. They're awaiting their new ballpark on the Strip. Here's 1 and 2. Double play. And 2 down. Bulls down to their final out.
Catcher number 27, Ben Simmons.
as bad of a knock as the infrastructure in Oakland got, it was always such a cool atmosphere there, whether it be for the Athletics or for the Raiders. The fans in Oakland came to support their teams, and that was always something you could say about Oakland.
Here's a comebacker. The pitcher with time, and this game mercifully.
Foul ball.
Foul.
They're saying it went off his foot, I believe.
Yes.
Eric Matchy had already untucked his jersey.
I know.
Catcher's interference?
Is that what they're saying?
I think catcher's interference.
So runners on the corners, and the game's still aboard as Ben Simmons gets...
I think that's a catcher's interference call.
Swing and a miss for Will Turner. He's 0 for 3. Trio of groundouts, including a double play back in the 5th. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Fouled back. So Okotoks will get their 15th win of the season. Lethbridge will fall to 14-8. Okotoks improves to 15-8. 0-2 off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Is this one you just throw away, or do you learn from this?
I think you, from a pitching standpoint, there's definitely something you want to take away from this. I think from a hitting standpoint, you just need to move on because they've had some good at-bats today.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that is the ball game. Mercifully, over 24-2. The Okotoks Dawgs pick up their 15th win of the season as they defeat the Lethbridge Bulls here at Spitz Stadium. And just talked about it a little bit there, but in this game, if you're Lethbridge, what do you take out of it? Is it a game where you go, you know what, it just wasn't our night. Everything defensively and pitching went against us. Our offense clearly wasn't good enough. What do you do? Do you trash it? Do you learn from it? Move on? Do you take snippets? What is your thoughts?
I think just from a pure pitching standpoint, you know that there needs to be more strike one thrown. Okotoks did that early and often, and they held Lethbridge to 2 runs in this game, and Lethbridge was falling behind in counts, and Okotoks has plenty of hitters that will make you pay if you give them, you know, a 2-0 count in most at bats. They'll make you pay. Connor Croson,
yeah,
pure example there. He was ahead in a lot of counts today, and he was able to burn Lethbridge pitching. I think that's the one thing. If you're the Bulls, you need more of moving forward. Is just more strike one, and I think you're able to keep these Okotoks bats a little bit more in check. It got away from the Bulls pitching staff here tonight. Offensively, I think they did fine. They put together plenty of good at-bats later as the game went on. Obviously, Okotoks was getting a lot of contact early, but you take those 2 things away from it, and then you just flush and move on to tomorrow. It's a long summer. Plenty of baseball still will be played.
You talk about getting ahead in counts, and the Bulls just didn't do enough of that tonight. You look at this ball game. In the first, they lost the first batter. In the third, they lost the first batter. In the fourth, they lost the first batter. In the fifth, they lost the first batter. In the 6th, they got the first. 7th, got the first. So early in this ball game, when it was in a close ball game, they just didn't do their job. Got chasing, stretched out the pitchers. They had to go through, 7 guys today. Good day. Good thing it's a day off tomorrow, ahead of then a busy stretch starting on Saturday.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. You give a team like Okotoks, some of the hitters they have, you give them free base runners, they're going to burn you more often than not.
Connor Croson, quickly, the cycle obviously had a heck of a night for him. What did you make of his performance and approach at the plate? Because when you're feeling it, it's easy to have a strong approach.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to do too much. I mean, he hits that 3-run home run. It's just a pure swing into right center field. He's not trying to mash that ball. He's just gets a pitch on the outer half of the plate and powers it to right center, and that ball carries out. Just keeping it simple is all he was really doing, and that's all he wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, it felt like he was letting the game come to him and not trying to go to the game, if you will.
Yeah, and part of the reason that makes the top guys so good, we talk about the game speeding up from the high school to the college level. The best guys at this level and in the pro level are the guys that are able to slow the game down and keep it simple. Because, sure, getting that home run's great in that situation, but that's not what you need every at bat. Sometimes it's just hitting that sacrifice fly to center field that helps your team win ball games, and that approach is what wins baseball games at the end of the day.
Tonight, it was a big win for the Okotoks Dawgs. 24-2, they defeat the Lethbridge Bulls at Spitz Stadium. Lethbridge falls to 14-8 on the season, 5-3 at home. Okotoks, their 9th road win of the year. 9 of their 15 wins have come away from home, and they have racked up 33 runs over the last 2 nights for the Okotoks Dawgs. These two teams back at it again on Sunday afternoon here at Spitz Stadium. The Bulls off tomorrow. They welcome Brooks on Saturday. That will be our next broadcast, 7 o'clock here from Spitz Stadium. A big night for Connor Croson, a big night for the Okotoks Dawgs. They hand Lethbridge their worst defeat of this season. 24-2 is the final. Thanks for being with us. My name is Dustin Forbes. Thanks to Nathan Ryder on color, our producer, Clayton Yates. This is Dustin Forbes saying so long from Spitz Stadium.